Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 6DBOPM. Chapter 101 created a psychological shadow on everyone. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Immediately afterwards, everyone crawled out of the ruins one after another. Except for a small number of people who were far away from Chiu, most people still saw clearly what had just happened. Dispo spit out a mouthful of sand, and said with lingering fear, "It's really scary, is this the strength of Chiu? He is indeed the man who slaughtered the entire 4th universe player. Jiren, can you beat him?" Jiren shook his head and said, "No, I'm not his opponent either. But our luck is really good, if nothing else, Chiu has already been eliminated." Toppo said. "You mean?" Jiren said. "Hit is dead." Everyone suddenly realized that killing people is not allowed in the Tournament of Power. If anyone violates the rules, he will definitely be eliminated. Hit is a rare superpower, but even with his strength, it may be difficult to survive such a violent attack by Chiu. If Hit is dead, then Chiu is now eliminated. Dispo couldn't help but said, "It seems that we are really good with you, and we never expected that we won the victory without even using the last resort." However, just as he finished speaking, Hit's anger reappeared. Dispo followed that aura and looked at the chief executive, but he didn't expect that Hit, who was supposed to be dead, was still sitting in the stands. Even Hit looked at his body in disbelief, wondering how he survived. Advertisement. Champa to Hit. "Hurry up and thank Grand Priest." Hit still hadn't recovered from what had just happened, and said to Champa, "Why should I thank Grand Priest?" Grand Priest chuckled, and then said to Hit, "Just now I used a puff of chi to help you offset part of the strength of Chiu's last blow. In fact, you don't need to thank me, you should thank Beerus. If Beerus hadn't reminded me in time protect you, now you are dead." Beerus shook his hand and said, "You don't have to thank me, I'm just afraid that Chiu will be eliminated just like that." Only then did Hit remember what happened at the last second. Just when he thought he was going to die, a red shield suddenly appeared on his body. Chiu's final blow was extremely terrifying, and directly smashed the shield to pieces, but even so, the shield still helped him bear most of the strength. In this way, Hit held his last breath and fell into the abyss of nothingness. Grand Priest and Zeno set the rules in the void: once someone is eliminated, all injuries will be restored immediately. In this way, Hit saved his life. Thinking of this, Hit couldn't help wiping off a cold sweat, and said to Grand Priest, "Thank you for your help." Grand Priest said, "I also don't want your death to prevent the normal progress of the game, it's not a good thing to spoil Master Zeno's interest." Why? Although Hit survived, Champa was still very angry. Losing his most powerful subordinate for no reason, how can Champa make sense of this? In fact, there are many people who are as angry as Champa. Because the crisis of Chiu being eliminated was lifted, the players in the ring were all disappointed. Damn it. It would be great if Chiu was eliminated. Advertisement. Just a little bit. Why doesn't this Hit die? Hit, who was sitting on the stage, was very speechless. He didn't understand where he had sinned against these people. Everyone insisted on cursing himself to death. At this time, the fighting in the arena had come to a complete standstill. Everyone looked at Chiu, who was still in the center of the ring. His surroundings were devastated and severely damaged. The impact and explosion just now was like the end of the world. Although it had passed, the terrible scene was still firmly engraved in the souls of everyone. Even if they survived that disaster, many players on the field were injured because of it, only because they were affected by Chiu's fight. By this time, some people even lost their will to fight and wanted to give up. Impossible. How can we defeat such a monster? No matter what, we will definitely lose. It's just unreasonable. How can a guy like this be allowed to play? Does it make sense? Grand Priest is not lying. Chiu can really pull the strength of the 7th universe to the first place in the whole universe by himself. How should we defeat such a monster? Among them, the 4th universe is the worst, because it was slaughtered by Chiu once, so the warrior of the 4th universe has low combat effectiveness. In the shock just now, more than half of the 4th universe warriors had already fainted in the ring, becoming lambs to be slaughtered. Some warriors are already cleaning the battlefield, taking this opportunity to throw people from the 4th universe out of the ring and turn them into their own exploits. Among them, the luckiest one is the 7th universe. Because they knew Chiu's character and strength, everyone was ready to resist the impact before the danger came. Up to now, the warrior of the 7th universe is the best preserved, basically without any damage. Advertisement. Son Goku wiped off his sweat and said, "No matter how many times I watch it, I will be shocked. The power of the bald devil is really too strong." In the 7th universe, Frieza reacts most violently. When Emperor Universe crawled out of the ruins, his feet were trembling slightly. Today, he saw the real Devil King, 100 times more terrifying than himself. He couldn't imagine what kind of life Goku and others lived with this guy all the year round. As long as he didn't pay attention to offend this guy, even gods of destruction will be finished. At this moment, everyone saw Saitama dig out a brand new blanket from the broken shopping cart, and spread it on the good ground. Oh, it's time for a nap, I'll take a nap first. Vegeta, call me when you're done typing. Don't call me Tragedy Tower, Vegeta yelled loudly before suddenly reacting. What, he called me by my name. At this time, it was Chiu who had fallen asleep and was still snoring slightly. This time, no matter what, everyone dared not approach Chiu's location, it was simply a magic cave. In case this guy is woken up, maybe it will be even worse than just now. Even the gods of destruction in the stands shouted. Stay away from that guy, and find a way to get him in the end. Be careful not to touch him. Keep an eye on your ki blast when fighting. Obviously, what happened just now cast a heavy shadow on the gods of destruction. Advertisement. Chapter 102 Green, Super Saiyan Kale. 3 more please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chiu's slight snoring echoed in the dilapidated arena, and beside him were various snacks and comics. If you change the background, everyone will even think that this is the daily life of a family squatting in a dead house, but this is the arena of the power conference. Chiu fell asleep like this, but the game still had to continue. On the other side of the ring, the 3 little Saiyans from the 6th universe were already being targeted. Their opponents are several robots from the 3rd universe, Narama, Polarita, Panchea, and Biala. The 3rd universe is the Wisdom universe, which is rich in various advanced high-tech. So most of their powerhouses are robots, or warriors with the help of technological equipment. In the original work, the remaining robots of the 6th universe merged into a super-sized powerful robot, which caused great trouble for Goku and others. In terms of combat effectiveness, the 3rd universe is definitely relatively advanced, and the current 6th universe is in a very bad situation. First, Hit, the top player, was eliminated, and then Gabe was seriously injured in the impact just now. Up to now, they have faced the strong man from the 3rd universe again. Seeing this scene, Champa couldn't help yelling at the 3rd gods of destruction Moscow in the stands. Damn Moscow, you despicable guy who took advantage of 303's danger. The 3rd gods of destruction is a robot. Hearing Champa's insults, his chest made a beeping sound. Advertisement. Moscow can't speak, and communicates with people all by Morse code. The 3rd Supreme Kale beside him translated for Champa. Master Moscow means that talking to a gods of destruction who is about to be eliminated is a waste of his time. Gritting his teeth, Champa finally turned around and hit Hit on the head. It's all your fault, you idiot, it's nothing, why are you messing with the bald devil? Although his head was being beaten, Hit's face sank like water, like a Buddha statue, without saying a word. Under the scoundrel, Champa could only take the time to give up, and shouted to Caulifla and the others fighting in the ring. Show me some momentum, the 3 of you are also Saiyan, give these people from the 3rd universe a little bit. Look at the colors. Among the Saiyans of the 6th universe, there is an alternative, that is Caulifla's junior sister, Kale. Although Kale is a Saiyan, he doesn't seem to have inherited Saiyan's racial instinct of being good at fighting, so he appears timid and shy. Caulifla and Gabe are fighting hard, but she only dares to hide behind Caulifla alone. The people in the 3rd universe are already very strong, coupled with the superiority in numbers, Caulifla and Gabe are gradually no match for 4 hands. Seeing the enemy being beaten continuously, Paparoni of the 3rd universe not only showed a smug smile. Paparoni is a scientist from the 3rd universe. The robot warriors in front of him are all made by him and are under his control. It can be said that he is the real leader of the 3rd universe in the ring. Paparoni leaned on the jeweled cane and said, warriors of the 6th universe. You will be obliterated by Zeno honestly. This is the wish of gods of destruction Moscow. At this time, Caulifla was already seriously injured, and Gabe was even worse. Advertisement. He was the most injured in the impact just now, coupled with the continuous high-intensity battles, the current Gabe can't even maintain the Super Saiyan form properly, and has become a common state. Caulifla wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, and said to Paparoni, I will not lose to you despicable guys. Paparoni pointed at Kale behind Caulifla with his cane and said, this is not despicable, this is wisdom. Polaretta, let me deal with the guy behind her first, she doesn't dare to fight at all. Quote. After receiving the order, Polarita immediately launched an attack on Kale. As a small robot, Polarita's speed is already extremely fast. Before Kale could react, the opponent's iron fist hit him. She clenched her hands tightly and screamed, not daring to resist. But Polarita's fist didn't hit her. At this moment, Caulifla rushed up and helped Kale block the fatal blow. The fist of steel hit Caulifla, splashing a few drops of blood. The senior sister closed her head with her hands to firmly resist the iron fist, preventing the attack from falling on Kale. Sister. Senior sister is supposed to protect junior sister, isn't it? After Caulifla finished speaking, she also fell out of the Super Saiyan state, so soft that she fell to the ground. Looking at the fainted Caulifla, and Gabe who was also covered in bruises, Kale suddenly felt very self-blame for his cowardice. Everyone on the field was fighting, only a cowardly girl like myself remained motionless, not only failed to defeat her opponent, but also harmed her favorite senior. So, Caulifla became angry. Advertisement. I hate myself so much. Damn it, I hurt my senior. Ah. Kale suddenly let out an angry roar, and the light of gold appeared all over his body. Gradually, the light changed from gold to deep green, covering the entire arena. For this green light, Son Goku et al. Are all too familiar. That is the unique brilliance of legendary Super Saiyan, Broly. It turns out that Kale is Broly from another universe. After entering the Super Pass state, Kale's power immediately soared to an unprecedented level, beating the entire third universe to nothing. In less than a few minutes, several people from the third universe were shot down to the ring. Paparoni looked at Kale who was showing off his might, and murmured, This is really outrageous. At this time, a red light appeared on Moscow's chest again, and there was a beeping electric sound. The third king god translated for it. Champa, Master Moscow said that you are the real despicable person, and you let such a strong person pretend that you can't fight. Champa put his hands on his hips, and let out a tasteless laugh. In fact, even he himself didn't know that Kale had such a force. At this moment, Bados asked, Lord Champa, Master Champa. What's the matter? Don't you see that I'm proud? Master Champa, you'd better look at the situation on the field. Champa turned his head and looked, immediately like a duck being strangled by the neck, unable to laugh. But at this time, Kale had completely lost her mind, and she didn't even know that she was actually moving towards the center of the ring. There, a bald head was snoring. To everyone in the ring, this bald head is like a sleeping lion, perhaps harmless while asleep. But once the lion is woken up, everyone in the ring will suffer disaster. Champa yelled. Stop Kale. Advertisement. Chapter 103 No one dares to provoke. Chiu is amazing. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Kale released Ki Blast indiscriminately, setting off bursts of explosions in the ring. At this time, the distance between her and Chiu was already very close, and under the violent vibration, the stone pillar that had been half blown away was finally overwhelmed and fell down. As good as it could be, it fell in the direction where Chiu was sleeping. Warrior on the ring stopped fighting, and looked at Carl and others in the center of the ring with a pale face. The gods in the stands also stopped scolding each other, and hugged the stone pillar beside them tightly, preparing for the coming impact. Just then, the hero appeared. No one thought that at such a critical moment, it would be the evil Emperor Frieza who saved everything. It broke through the enemy's pursuit desperately, and then appeared in front of Chiu, reaching out to catch the heavy stone pillar. This stone pillar was originally used to time the game. When creating it, Grand Priest consumed countless materials, so it was extremely heavy. Frieza was also worried about waking Chiu up, so he didn't dare to use too much force, so he just barely held Chiu. Seeing this scene, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and Goku yelled, Good job Frieza, you will do such a just act if you don't deserve it. Advertisement. Once Frieza sees beautiful things, he will feel uncomfortable all over his body, and he can't accept compliments from others. He lifted the pillar and cursed. Don't be kidding, I just don't want to be affected by this guy again. Goku laughed and said, Don't be modest. Actually, you can be a good person. Frieza suddenly shouted. Attention, that Saiyan is coming again, everyone stop her. At this moment, Kale, who was wreaking havoc everywhere, moved towards Chiu again. Beerus tugged at his dog ears and said, Stop her quickly, don't let Chiu wake up. Tacy said that Chiu has the urge to wake up. Everyone panicked when they heard that Chiu was angry about getting up. Because of the lessons learned from the past, many warriors on the field spontaneously joined this action to save the world. Son Goku and Vegeta got in the way of Chiu, blocking Kale's Ki Blast for Frieza. Paganini, manipulating his robot warrior, is slowly leading Kale elsewhere. Originally, Kale was angry because the robot warrior injured Caulifla. Seeing the robots of the third universe turn around, he quickly followed. Seeing that Kale, who had transformed into legendary Super Saiyan, was walking away, everyone finally let out a long sigh of relief. Anyway, they are safe for now. The gods of destruction climbed down from the pillars again, and sat upright, arranging their clothes, in order to restore their dignity. Champa coughed, then blushed and said, I just saw that the pillar was so beautiful, I couldn't help but want to hug it. Advertisement. Beerus had the same reaction. Yes, the pillars built by the priests are really beautiful. Bados couldn't help squinting and said contemptuously, Master Champa, you no longer have any dignity as gods. Champa said angrily. Don't expose me. No, I mean don't interpret and misinterpret my meaning casually. However, less than a minute after Champa and Beerus finished speaking, a group of gods climbed up the pillar again. Because at this moment, a stone fell from the bead on Frieza's back and hit Chiyu's bald head. It's over, everyone is going to be killed. Chiu, who was hit by the stone, was frowning and slowly opened his eyes. Everyone could feel that an angry breath was gradually spreading from Chiyu's body. At that moment, everyone's hearts were raised in their throats. For a person with a wake-up urge, being awakened in a deep sleep can be extremely irritating. Once the bald demon king wakes up this time, he will probably be 100 times more terrifying than before. The image of Chiu smashing the entire universe has once again appeared in the minds of Goku and Beerus. If you are unlucky, the scene will repeat itself in no time. At this moment, Vegeta rushed up, gently closed Chiyu's eyelids with 2 fingers and sang a lullaby. Sleep quickly, sleep quickly, sleep quickly, sleep quickly, sleep, www. Vegeta is still a person who has taken care of children after all. He is not good at putting people to sleep, but he is more or less good at it. Gradually, Chiyu's breathing calmed down, and he fell asleep again. Asterisk. Everyone in the audience didn't dare to make a sound, for fear of waking Chiu up again, except for a certain fat woman from the second universe. Most people still saw the whole process of Chiu killing hit clearly, except for a few players who were far away or had special circumstances. When the impact happened, Ribrian was turning into a meat bomb chariot and rolling at high speed on the field, so it was not clear what happened. At this time, the fat woman was still posing in various poses, speaking disgusting lines loudly. The most unbearable thing was that behind her were 2 loudspeakers that came from nowhere, releasing harsh noises. Advertisement. Everyone is trying so hard to keep the sleeping people from being woken up. Ribrian has been touched. This is love. How beautiful is your love? Librian felt that the deer was bumping in his heart, and his heart was wandering. Ouch, my heart. Wait, why did you all come here? Before Librian could react, a large group of contestants had already surrounded her, but they started to praise her without saying a word. It took us a long time to put him to sleep, you F-King fat woman, dare to bring a stereo. What if I wake up again? I will beat you to death and make you shut up forever. Go to hell for your concert. So operator. Most of the players rushed over and punched Ribrian. After a long time in the United States, Ribrian only had the air to vent, not the air to enter. Vegeta picked up her corpse and threw it off the ring, thus finally announcing that the crisis was completely resolved. At this moment, Jiren finally opened his eyes and said, it's time for this farce to end. Toppo said, shall we start now? Is it too early? Jiren said, the strong ones have been eliminated a lot, it's time to take action, otherwise, once Chiu wakes up and joins hands with Son Goku and others, our situation will become very dangerous. Even if there is an ultimate solution, there is no guarantee of victory. Dispo also said, then let's start, I can't wait. At this time, the power conference can be regarded as the real start. Righteous. Advertisement. Chapter 104 11th Universe vs 7th Universe. 5 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Just when Ribrian was dealt with, a team of warriors in red came to the crowd, it was the Proud Team. Among the strength rankings of the universes given by the Grand Priest, the 11th universe is only behind the 4 universes that did not participate in the conference, and is the biggest favorite to win the championship. Among them, Jiren is the only human other than Chiu whose strength surpasses that of gods of destruction. It's only when they join that the game really begins. Jiren said, our goal is the 7th universe, Toppo will deal with that Frieza, Dispo will deal with Vegeta, Son Goku will leave it to me. The others are free to fight, before Chiu wakes up, we will eliminate all the warriors in the 7th universe. As soon as Jiren finished speaking, the members of the Proud Team scattered in all directions, looking for their own opponents. At this time, the people who think this way are not only 460, but Jiren. After all, Chiu is not an opponent that can be solved alone. Only by eliminating the other people in the 7th universe can everyone attack Chiu in groups. As a result, the battle situation in the 7th universe became tense, and almost everyone faced multiple opponents, even Kling and Master Roshi were no exception. It's just too despicable. It's disgusting. Beerus yells at the other universes for forming an alliance, but it doesn't help because no one will listen to him at this point. Advertisement. Heelan and Master Roshi were back to back, and there were 5 strong men gathered around them, and they might swarm up and start a contest between the two at any time. But Chiu was still sleeping at this time, she showed no signs of waking up. Warriors rushed over from all directions, and the scene was completely detonated immediately. At this time, Vegeta was hugging Dispo from the back. Seeing this movement, Son Goku knew what he wanted to do. That is the move that was used when fighting Majin Buu, and died together. This batch of warriors were all temporarily raised by Quatella, and their own strength is very low, so it is completely normal for this kind of thing to happen. After the last warrior appeared in the stands, Quatella sighed and said goodbye to his own universe's Supreme Kai. It's an honor to work with you. Only those who have seen such power firsthand can understand the horror of Zeno. Although he looks like a child, he really controls the life and death of all universes. Prosperity or destruction is only in his mind. Seeing this scene, Shendu couldn't help but stand up and cheer for his warrior. As gods ruling a universe, they want to die more than anyone else. Those who can participate in the tournament of power are all strong men from various universes, no matter which one they are definitely not easy to deal with. In contrast, the seventh universe is in the worst situation. Piccolo and others have basically been eliminated, and now only Goku, number 17, Vegeta, Frieza, Kling and Master Roshi are left on the field. In contrast, 11 universe has almost no reduction in staff. Beerus complained. Damn, even Vegeta has been eliminated, this is really bad. Chiu, bastard, how long will he sleep for? Soon there were only 4 universes left on the field, namely the 4th universe that was good at high technology, the powerful 11th universe, and the twin 6th and 7th universes. Me too, Master Quatella. Advertisement. Yes, Teacher Wushan. At this time, Grand Priest announced. The 4th universe has been eliminated, and now, the 4th universe will be eliminated. Keelan said. Teacher Wushan, do you have any good solutions? Master Roshi and Keelan were not as reserved as Vegeta, they just did what they said, and the two began to prepare pause before combining on the field. At this time, Son Goku was still facing the mighty Toppo, when he suddenly felt a powerful chi coming from behind him. But expectations are always far from reality. After a while, the second eliminated universe appeared, followed by the third. The second, 4th, and 10th universes followed in the footsteps of the 4th universe. Keelan said. There is only one way to improve our strength in a short period of time. Fit. What is that? In the chaos, people were eliminated one after another. Soon, the first universe that lost all its players appeared, and it was the 4th universe that had all its warriors slaughtered by Chiu. The 4th universe disappeared, and Angel Savoy sat alone in the stands, looking very lonely. Vegeta roared to the sky, then released all his energy, and then exploded. A round of dazzling light appeared on the field, and after a while, Vegeta, who was full of scars, fell into the abyss of nothingness together with Dispo. Soon, the two reappeared in their respective chief elections. Kling and Master Roshi are both Earthlings and share the same racial ancestry. The most important thing is that both of them are extremely short in stature, which fits well together. Advertisement. Since Majin Buu, Keelan has rarely participated in such a difficult battle, and suddenly, a long-lost feeling emerged from his heart. Since this battle is inevitable, let's fight it. Master Roshi said. I'm so old, can the fusion technique be successful? A warrior with a scalp even brighter than Chiu appeared, wearing a white vest under his practice clothes. Floating in the sky with his hands in his arms, he said, I am Super Immortal Lin. In such a desperate situation, Master Roshi still remained calm and said, Klin. It's not easy for each partner now, we can only do our own thing well. Concentrate on dealing with the enemy in front of you. In many cases, tricks it's useless. Keelan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, panting and said to Master Roshi, Teacher Wushan, the rest are all real strong men, and each of them is an existence that we cannot defeat. Under such circumstances, we the warrior I have is no longer able to help, so. No wonder Beerus was worried, there were still 4 universes left on the field, but everyone's eyes were fixed on the 7th universe. If this continues, the 7th universe is likely to be the next one to be eliminated. I don't know, but we can try. After casting a magic wave, Master Roshi's condition Piccolo Lin is still bad. He is already old, and he is already a little physically weak at this time. But in his dim eyes, fighting spirit was still burning. Eliminate. Eliminate. If there is any way, just tell me. As long as I can take away another enemy, I can do whatever you want. Both Zeno held up their fingers simultaneously. In the blink of an eye, all the warriors of the 4th universe, along with their homes, were reduced to nothingness. At this moment, Son Goku yelled at Vegeta who was fighting Dispo, Vegeta. Advertisement. Chapter 105 Super Kling Immortal, 6 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I'm Super Kling Immortal. He was wearing a kung fu uniform of Guaxian style, and there were 6 scars on his smooth scalp. It looks more like Keelan, it doesn't inherit the oldness of Master Roshi, but it has the combat experience of the elders. Son Goku and number 17 exclaimed in unison. Huh. Master Roshi and Krillin have merged. The conditions of the two basically meet the requirements for a fit, but the age difference is too great after all, and there is still a certain element of luck in being able to fit successfully. Immortal Krillin put on a strange pose, and then shouted, I am Su Goku's master, and I am also the apprentice of the bald-headed Demon King. I am Super Krillin Immortal. After all, a dazzling flame erupted from his body. Unlike Klin's before, this flame was extremely strong, like a bonfire, burning blazingly. Weiss, who was watching the battle, nodded and said, well, this is the real god of Super Earthlings. In the world of Dragon Ball, the talents of the people on Earth are very limited. Even if Kalen reached the realm of a god, it would be difficult to exert his power because he didn't have enough chi. But fusion art is a skill that can enhance breath in a short period of time. 1 plus 1 does not necessarily equal 2. The combination of Trunks and Goten in Super Saiyan 1 form can reach Super Saiyan 3, and the strength has been increased by more than 100 times. The combination of Trunks and Ghosts and Immortals is the same. Only by this coincidence, the two bald-headed Earthlings turned this ideal form into a reality, a superhuman god. Quincy from the 11th universe said, what super Earthling god? No matter what, he can't be our proud team leader. Advertisement. Quincy is the 4th best player in Team Pride, second only to Dispo in strength. He can transform his own energy into a 4-line bomb, sealing the opponent's actions, and has a great advantage in this kind of field where he can't fly. These two Earthlings were obviously the weakest existences in the local camp, but they dared to come out to show off their power, which made Quincy very upset. Now, Quincy couldn't bear to teach these two ignorant guys a lesson. The breath gushed out from Quincy's body, and then turned into countless threads, and stabbed towards the super immortal Kling. Turtle, hi, chi, WW. Immortal Keelan started to roar, and immediately after that, a large ball of light shone in his hand. The light pierced people's eyes. As the founder of this move, Master Roshi has the deepest understanding of Kamehameha. At this time, he possessed a powerful enough power, and the skills and energy were superimposed in pairs, and an extraordinary chemical reaction took place. Gong. Following Immortal Klin's roar, a huge beam of brilliant light burst out from his hands, rushing towards Quincy in front of him. Under the magnificent beam of light, Quincy's inexhaustible aura is like catkins in the wind, flying around. No, it's impossible, these two guys were so weak just now, why did they become so strong after only a moment? Why, I'm Quincy from Team Pride. Quincy stretched out his hands to block, but under absolute strength, his resistance didn't have much effect. The beam of light pushed Quincy's body, rushed him out of the ring, and fell into the abyss. Advertisement. After the huge explosion, Quincy also appeared in the stands. 11th Supreme Kai sighed. Are we only 2 people left? Gods of Destruction said deliciously. Don't worry, the rest are Toppo and Jiren, we still have the last resort. Speaking of the last resort, Delicious felt a lot more at ease. He looked at 11th Supreme Kai's ears without earrings and said, you're right, we still have the last resort. No one will be our right civil. At this moment, Krillin and Master Roshi released their transformations, and both fell limply to the ground. The age difference between the two is too big, and it is very difficult to successfully fit together. In addition, the two of them had already consumed most of their chi before the fusion. With such physical strength, it was already the limit to be able to last for 10 seconds. Jiren walked over, lifted Master Roshi and Klin from the ground, and said, 2 such weak humans have displayed such powerful fighting power. Although it's only for a moment, it's enough for your lifetime of glory. Keelan said with difficulty. Yes, we finally helped to defeat a powerful enemy, and it's up to us Earthlings ourselves. Jiren nodded and threw the two of them off the podium. Toppo made an exaggerated pause. 2 strong guys, their justice touched me. Jiren said indifferently. Stop playing with them, Toppo, get ready. Advertisement. Alright Jiren, let's use the justice of the proud team to end this meaningless game once and for all. After all, Toppo took out an earring and put it on his left ear. Seeing Toppo's action, Son Goku immediately changed his face and said, stop them quickly. Otherwise it will be too late. Frieza and number 17 died early, have never seen Supreme Kai's earrings, and don't know the effect of this earring. Otherwise they must have had the same reaction as Son Goku. 090 Frieza said. Son Goku, what are you fussing about? It's just 2 earrings, why are these 2 sissies carrying such things around? Son Goku. That's not Common's earrings. At this time, it was too late, and Jiren had already put the earring on his right ear. At this moment, the 2 earrings shone brilliantly. Jiren said. During the entire match, Toppo and I didn't make many shots, just to save enough energy to complete the fit. That's right, I don't think I'm Chiyu's opponent, but it's different after wearing this earring. Warriors of the 7th universe, your 7th universe society and taijutsu are not the only ones in this world. In addition to Chiu, Jiren is the strongest warrior in this ring, and Toppo's strength is not weaker than the Super Blue God under 10 times Kaioken. Once these two people fit together, the power gained can make one's scalp tingle just thinking about it. After putting on the earrings, Toppo and Jiren's bodies flew in the same direction, and soon, an unprecedented warrior appeared. It's still the same red clothes of Team Pride, but the person wearing the clothes has a completely different new form. Bursts of thick smoke came out of him and filled the entire arena. Advertisement. Chapter 106 Jiren Po vs Frieza. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Seeing the warrior's debut, Gods of Destruction Vermut stood up from the stands excitedly, saying, "This is the new strongest warrior in our universe, and we named it Jiren broke." 11th Supreme Kai couldn't help complaining. "Master Vermut, someone should remind you that your talent for naming is really bad." Vermut opened his hands and said, "It doesn't matter what the name is, look. This is the most powerful warrior in the history of the 11th universe. No, maybe in all universes, he is the most powerful warrior one." Jiren's broken body is full of strong muscles, but he doesn't feel any breath, just like a common person. If you close your eyes, even with the intuition of a top martial artist, you can't feel that there is someone there. Sunwoo Sarada is familiar with this kind of existence, because there is such a person by his side. Gold Frieza sneered and said, "What super warrior? This guy doesn't have any energy at all, probably the fusion failed." "Frieza, what are you talking about?" Frieza turned his head, but saw Son Goku's extremely nervous face. Immediately afterwards, Son Goku said, "Don't you understand? It's not that there is no energy, but we can't feel it. He has reached a state far beyond ours." Hearing Son Goku's words, Frieza felt slightly uneasy. But still unconvinced. "Why are you so sure?" Advertisement. Son Goku said, "Because there are such people around me, that is." At this moment, Beerus shouted from the stands, saying, "It's Chiu. This is how Chiu feels." Beerus' face was distorted and deformed by fear, and even destroying Shendu's reaction, Frieza knew that this might be a very terrifying enemy in front of him. Yes, at this moment, Jirenpo feels exactly the same as Chiu, like a bottomless black hole. Both Jiren and Toppo are warriors with incomparable aura. Since these two warriors are combined, they should have a stronger chi anyway. Although I can't feel it, it definitely doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It can be said that Jiren is already in a completely different dimension from these warriors on the field. Because of this, these people can't feel anything. Son Goku looked at Jiren and said, "Once the earrings fit together, you can never be separated again. Why do you want to do this?" The Supreme Kai earrings are inseparable, as Son Goku and Vegeta have done twice in history. Although they all separated again in the end, it doesn't mean that everyone has such luck every time. The explanation given by Akira Toriyama is that the two had a serious consumption of chi before the fit, which led to an imperfect fit. That's why they can be separated again after the energy is exhausted. But Jiren is different from Toppo. In the power conference, they deliberately preserved their strength. Up to now, their chi is still very sufficient. Under such circumstances, they fit together, and it is very likely that there is really no way to separate them. Advertisement. Jiren broke out. "This is a decision we have discussed many times. If we do not use this method, we will not be able to defeat an enemy who can fight against the Grand Priest. The only way for our universe to survive is to sacrifice yourself and let yourself reach that level. From today onwards, there will be no Jiren and no Toppo in this world." It was only then that everyone remembered that this is a battle for the survival of the universe. As long as they can win, no price is acceptable. Thinking of this, Supreme Kai of 7th Universe stood up from the stands and took off his earrings. But at this time, Grand Priest stopped him. Grand Priest said, "Shin, have you forgotten? The rule of the power tournament is that people outside the arena are not allowed to throw props into the arena. When Majin Buu and Basil fought in the previous skirmish, the 9th Universe did such a thing. The Supreme Kai outside the field throws stimulants to the players on the field to increase the strength of the players in a short time. In order to prevent such things from happening, this rule was added during the official competition." Supreme Kai said, "But Master Grand Priest, rules are rules." Grand Priest interrupted Supreme Kai's explanation. "Since it has been formulated, it must be followed, and this is in front of Master Zeno." Beerus pushed Supreme Kai back onto the stands, and said, "Stop talking, it's useless." At this time, Vegeta has been eliminated, and there is no suitable candidate who can combine with Son Goku on the field. Golden Frieza and Son Goku are so different in size that the possibility of a fit is almost zero. The strength of number 17 is slightly weaker. Even if the combination is successful, it is not Jiren's opponent. Advertisement. What's more, whether the combined Jirenpo is really that powerful still needs to be tested by facts. Jiren on the ring raised his head high and said, I'm really surprised, why can't you feel it? I clearly have such a powerful power, but why can't everyone see it at all? It's a frog at the bottom of the well, can't you see the endless blue sky? What did you say? As soon as Jiren's words came out, Frieza was enraged. As the Emperor of the universe, the embodiment of evil and viciousness, Frieza hates others to underestimate her. Jiren turned his head to look at Frieza, and then said, "Ignorant reptile, Zhao dared to say such things to me because you can't feel it. I'm right, you are the bottom of the well, frog." Frieza was furious, and then rushed towards Jiren at a very fast speed, but this time, Golden Frieza was no longer so invincible. Jirenpo didn't move at all. Just when the Golden Frieza approached Jirenpo at a distance of about 3 meters, he suddenly heard several heavy blows on his body. Immediately afterwards, the gold-like armor cracked inch by inch, splashing fresh. Frieza flew backwards at a faster speed, dragging a deep ravine on the ground. Jiren stared at Frieza, who didn't know whether he was alive or dead on the ground, and said indifferently, "If this game can kill people, I can kill you 729 times at that moment just now, which is my accurate calculation of 7. In an instant, the scene suddenly quieted down. Advertisement. Chapter 107 Unstoppable Jiren Break. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this time, Frieza was no longer the invincible emperor of the universe. Gold's armor was all broken and covered in blood. After a while, it became a common state, dying. Goku and others appeared beside Frieza in a flash, and then pulled him out of the solid rock. Number 17 said, "It can't go on like this, Frieza's injury is too serious, he will die if left alone." Goku said, "Then quickly throw him out." After all, the two threw Frieza off the ring. In the next second, Frieza, who was hanging by a thread, reappeared in the stands. Beerus looked at Frieza, who was still in a daze, and said, "How is it? What is his strength?" Frieza was awakened by Beerus' words, and quickly recovered. Because of his anger, his expression was extremely distorted, and his whole body exuded terrible malice. But even with Frieza like this, there is no denying how powerful Jiren is. As the person who personally endured Jiren's attack, Frieza should be the one who knows the monster's strength best, but he said, "I don't know. Just like Chiu, I have no idea what level 530 enemies they are. A 20-centimeter ruler can't measure the length of the mountain peak. With Frieza's strength, it's still far from enough to test Jiren's breaking strength." Advertisement. Frieza's words chilled everyone who destroyed Shendu except Vermut. How should such a powerful enemy be defeated? I can't believe it, is this our strength? There is only one real fear in the world, and it's called the unknown. Son Goku said. This chi is really powerful. Kefla stared at her unbelievably big eyes, drew a line of blood in the air, and then fell towards the bottomless void. The 6th universe was the first to strike, and Champa stood in the stands and shouted, "Caulifla, Kale. It's time, use that." Beerus would like to ask something from the Grand Priest, maybe with luck, he can find a way to defeat Jirenpo. But Grand Priest just glanced at him and didn't answer. Not only the 11th universe, but also the 6th universe has the same plan. Vermut sneered, didn't even look at Champa, and continued to stare at the ring. At this moment, Kefu pulled. Champa also raised his hand and shouted, "Come on. Kefla, kill him." Champa proudly said to Vermut, "How is it?" Unexpectedly, our 6th universe also prepared the same move. Advertisement. Even Grand Priest couldn't help sighing. Unexpectedly, it has reached this level. At this moment, the battle, CCDI, between Kefla and Jiren is about to begin. There are only the two of us who are so powerful on the field. Come on Jiren, I'll deal with the others after I've dealt with you. Both Jiren and Toppo are very proud people, so this new warrior should be proud. Standing there, he didn't take the initiative to attack the people around him, maybe he just didn't bother to attack these weak people. Son Goku shook his head and said, "It's useless, if the two of Jiren have really reached Chiyu's level, then no matter how much Kefla's chi rises, it's useless. In fact, even if Chiyu doesn't use chi, I can't stop his casual strike. I think Jirenpo is the same, although I don't know who is stronger between him and Chiyu, but this is definitely not a gap that can be resolved by relying on energy strength." In the arena, Kefla's chi rose crazily like a flood that opened the gate. As if there is no end, it is getting stronger and stronger. Goku's tone was firm and affirmative, telling the truth without any room for maneuver. Kefra, who had obtained a powerful strength, was extremely excited, and without thinking about it, she rushed towards Jiren, and the raging arrogance set off countless explosions on the surface of the arena. At that moment, Mora was like a comet piercing through the atmosphere. Kale and Caulifla put on the Supreme Kai earrings, and then started to mention it. Soon, a little girl with flamboyant hair appeared on the field. Her whole body exuded a huge aura that surpassed Son Goku. Obviously, She was the superpower born from the fusion of Kale and Caulifla. Jiren broke out. It's much stronger than the one just now. I can only kill her 7 times in this second, which is not bad. Impossible. From Vermut's point of view, although they are also combined warriors, the strength of Kefla and Jiren are not at the same level at all. This can be felt from the realm. Kefla exudes a strong arrogance, like a continuously exploding sun. But Jirenpo is the opposite, like an abyss that swallows everything. Advertisement. At this moment, Jiren's broken strength was fully displayed in front of everyone. No one could clearly see how he punched, just a short breath, everything was over. Having said that, Son Goku's face darkened. Some people on the field have seen that Kefla is not Jiren's opponent, but the development of the matter is beyond everyone's expectations. Even Son Goku and the others were amazed. They never expected that the combination of these two little warriors could reach such a level. Jiren Po is that unknown existence, a realm that has never been seen, and a powerful strength that no one has ever possessed. The development of things is always changing rapidly. Before, everyone was targeting the 7th universe because the 7th universe was too strong. But now that the situation has reversed, everyone is targeting Wei Lianpotting. Champa raged. Vermut, how dare you ignore me? 17th worried. How can you beat Jirenpo? How is it possible? 17th said. But this chi is so powerful, it is 20 times stronger than your Kaioken. There was no difference, just when Kefla was about to break Jiren, countless fist marks appeared on her body. The limbs and ribs were broken at the same time, and in an instant, Kefla was beaten so that her whole body was deformed, like a torn rag doll. He doesn't attack others, and doesn't lead others not to attack him, because he is too powerful. Hearing Grand Priest's words, Beerus immediately raised his head and said, Master Grand Priest, do you know this realm? Advertisement. Chapter 108 The 6th Universe's Demise. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I declare below that all members of the 6th universe will be eliminated and will be disqualified from the competition. Grand Priest's voice without any emotion returned in the empty arena. At this time, Champa, who raised his hands in cheers, hadn't put his hands down yet. Everything happened so fast that people couldn't react in time. In such a short moment, powerhouses like Kale and Caulifla were completely instantly killed and appeared in the stands. The two had gone through a lot of fights the night before their fusion, so once they lost the battle, they immediately split into 2 people. But at this time, it doesn't matter whether they can still be separated, and soon, they will be eliminated by Zeno. We lost. It would be unacceptable for anyone to have just gained great strength in the last second and gallop on the field, and then fall to such a state in the next second. Carl said with tears in his eyes, Sister, I don't want to just disappear. Caulifla touched Kale's head and said, Kale, don't be afraid. It's all over. Champa turned to Beerus, not sad, but uncharacteristically calm and soft. Goodbye, my brother. The 2 brothers fought all their lives, but when they were about to die, Champa showed a magnanimity that was rare for an elder brother. Advertisement. As soon as Champa finished speaking, all members of the 6th universe disappeared. Beerus was silent for a while, then looked at Jirenpo on the ring, and said to himself, Don't say goodbye, because I'm not far away, I'll be right here. Jirenpo is too powerful, so powerful that it defies all common sense. At this moment, Jiren broke down, and he walked towards the 3rd universe with unhurried steps. At this time, the 3rd universe has the most people on the court, and it is only natural that Jiren should be targeted. Although there are the most people, they are actually in the most dangerous situation because they cannot find a truly powerful war king among them. At this time, Paparoni made a decision. He raised his scepter high and shouted frantically, Do you think that only the warriors of the 11th universe dare to sacrifice themselves? Our 3rd universe is a universe of wisdom, but it never lacks true courage. I will offer my life. Summon the most powerful warrior in the 3rd universe, come on. 4-in-1 super robot. Under Paparoni's roar, his cane began to emit a dazzling light. Paganini, do you want it? Seeing Paganini's actions, the gods of the 3rd universe stood up from the stands with solemn expressions. Deliciously said. Unexpectedly, your 3rd universe has prepared such a method, but it's useless, any warrior is not a match for Jiren. The 3rd Supreme Kai said. HMPH, don't talk too soon. Under Paganini's brilliance, each of the mechanical warriors began to deform rapidly, and then closed towards Paganini. These robot warriors, together with Paganini, turned into a giant ball of light. Number 17 looked up at the ball of light and said, What is this? It looks like a living thing, but it also looks like a machine. Advertisement. Number 17 was originally a modified human being, so he was particularly sensitive to this kind of life combined with biological machines. I have to say that Paganini is really a genius, he invented countless mechanical warriors. If it weren't for his robots, the third universe would have been eliminated long ago. Now he sacrificed himself together, allowing his works to break through the limitations of machines, and began to evolve into a half-human, half-creature. The ball of light burst, and a huge monster appeared in front of everyone. It has both powerful chi, toughness and various functions of a machine. The third Supreme Kai took out a handkerchief, wiped his tears and said, as expected of Paganini, I can't imagine that the degree of completion is so high. In this way, we can finally win this power tournament. Actually, the third universe is not megalomaniac. In the original, Son Goku, Vegeta, 17, and Frieza all went up together and were almost killed by the giant robot. If it wasn't for No 17's decisive decision to use a surprise attack strategy to win, I am afraid that the 7th universe would not be the opponent of this robot. But this time, it has to face Jiren broke. At this moment, Jiren flew up. Yes, he flew. The entire arena was set up with special rules by the Grand Priest. No matter how powerful a warrior is, they cannot fly in this arena. But Jiren did it, which means that his power has been able to ignore the laws set by the Grand Priest. Asterisk 7. Beerus pointed at Jiren and yelled. He fouled. Jiren broke the foul. He flew up. Regarding this, Grand Priest didn't seem to be surprised at all. He shook his head and said, since I can break through the law with my own strength, I have nothing to say. Advertisement. Beerus said. But he did commit a foul. Grand Priest's eyes became extremely dark, and he looked at Beerus and said, you mean, it's all my fault that the rules formulated by Grand Priest are not strong enough, allowing the players to take advantage of loopholes. So, do you want to hold me accountable? Beerus hastily covered his mouth and shook his head repeatedly. Grand Priest nodded in satisfaction and said, look. If Jiren is sent off like this, then this conference will be too boring. At this moment, Jiren made an attack for the first time. He flew in front of the Titan, then raised 2 fingers at him, stretched out and flicked. Immediately afterwards, an incomparable impact suddenly descended, tearing apart the shattered platform on which the Titan was standing. A large hole appeared in the middle of the Titan's body, and Green's blood flowed out. After everything was over, Titan lowered his head to look at his chest, whimpering in pain. Jiren broke out. Look, what Chi you can do, now I can do it too. After saying that, he stretched out his hand to pat, and Titan's body flew high and fell from the ring. Immediately afterwards, Jiren turned his head, looked at Son Goku and the others and said, okay, there are only 2 of you left. Let's conclude this conference. P.S. Old Irons, the author has to update a few books every day, because the readers are urging them to update, so they will be posted on the website immediately after writing. So there are many typos. If you encounter typos when reading, please let me know. The author will revise it as soon as he sees it in the book review area. In addition, those who want to update can add my readers, 567-687. Of Advertisement. Chapter 109 Powerful Jiren Breaks. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Now, let me end this meaningless tournament of power. Jiren stretched out his hand to Goku and number 17, and on the palm of Purple's hand, a little bit of starlight was shining. 17 yelled, it's Ki Blast. Prepare to. Before number 17 finished speaking, Jiren appeared in front of him, as fast as an instant transmission. When the 17th reacted, it was already too late. A crimson beam of light was piercing and majestic. In the next second, number 17 appeared in the auditorium. In the huge arena, only Son Goku was still fighting Jiren. But Jiren's breaking didn't stop there. The Qigong cannon in his hand was like a huge lightsaber. With a sweep, it directly slashed at Son Goku. Boom. 197. After the huge explosion, Ki Blast's lingering power remained undiminished and became stronger and stronger. The red energy raged everywhere, roasting the arena where Son Goku stood was red. Then it melted into magma and fell to the void. I don't know how long it took before this devastating blow slowly stopped. Resurrected in the stands, Vegeta murmured, as Goku, still alive. After taking such a blow, I am afraid that few people can still exist in this world intact, but that person is Son Goku, the child of miracles. Jiren looked into the stands of 7th universe and didn't see Son Goku revive there, so it is certain that Goku is still in this ring. Advertisement. So where is he? At this moment, a roar came from the other side of the ring, and the silver light shot up into the sky. At some point, a man exuding silver light appeared, with a fiery aura all over his body. Vegeta looked at Chiu, who was already sleeping like a dead pig, and confirmed that the person in the silver light was not the bald guy, so he said, what happened? That's Goku. Beerus cried with joy. It seems that something happened to Goku that we don't know about. Great, we are saved. In fact, Ultra Instinct is not a transformation, but a state. Completely awaken your fighting instinct, turn every cell in your body into a brain, and let them operate and judge by themselves. Son Goku lay on the ground clutching his abdomen, gritted his teeth and said, I have become so strong. Yu. Whis said. Just now, Son Goku must have absorbed Jiren's broken energy to reach this state. It has to be said that this is a breakthrough method that is almost impossible to replicate. Vegeta, if you want to achieve this, the realm can only be worked hard step by step. Come on Goku. Solve Jiren's broken. Jiren said indifferently. I heard that this is beyond the realm of gods of destruction, so I just wanted to see it. To be honest, it's not very good. With victory in sight, everyone stood up from the 7th universe audience and cheered for Goku. In the original work, Goku only activated this state after absorbing his own spirit bomb. But Jiren's broken chi is much stronger than the original spirit bomb, so the power injected into Son Goku is also extraordinary. As a perennial competitor, Vegeta is extremely concerned about Son Goku's strength, and Son Goku has become stronger again. No matter what, he must ask why. Whis can be regarded as the half-master of Son Goku and Vegeta, and he still doesn't forget to give some pointers at this time. Advertisement. At this moment, Son Goku, who was exuding silver light, roared and rushed towards Jiren. After speaking, Jiren quickly pulled the knife out of Son Goku's abdomen. Vegeta. What is Ultra Instinct? At this time, Vermut was already sweating profusely. If he lost even Jiren, the 11th universe would be completely over. In fact, there is one more thing that Whis didn't mention, that is the powerful power that Jiren's chi brings to Son Goku. At some point, Jiren's broken hand knife had pierced Son Goku's abdomen and emerged from his back. You must know that in the original work, Son Goku broke through 3 times in a row before he fully mastered Ultra Instinct. If it wasn't for the key blast that Jiren broke, he should have made quite a few detours. At this time, Sun Chinkong had a new change. At this time, Son Goku has entered the state of complete victory. At this time, Whis told everyone about Son Goku's current state. Ultra Instinct, it's Ultra Instinct. It's really unexpected that Son Goku has mastered the state that even Beerus has not reached. Jiren broke out. If you want to compete with me now, you are not qualified. After fully mastering the Ultra Instinct, Son Goku let out a loud roar 5.6, and appeared in front of Jiren at a speed several times faster than before. Then, Son Goku Ba Jiren launched a fatal attack. Advertisement. Just when the distance between the two was less than 3 meters, bursts of explosions were heard between the two, shaking the entire arena trembling. From beginning to end, Beerus and others couldn't see their movements clearly. Immediately afterwards, Whis began to introduce Ultra Instinct to everyone. Beerus tremblingly said, Could it be? Could it be? Once this state is reached, the body's operating mechanism will be completely changed, and the efficiency will be improved hundreds of times. Ultra Instinct provides not only strength and speed, but also near extreme skill. Keep him down and bring victory to the 7th universe. All the gods understand this theory, but very few have really reached this level. Vegeta asked anxiously, What is this? Tell me quickly. How did Kakarot become so strong? The two fought faster and faster, and then suddenly separated. In just 10 minutes, Son Goku has raised this state to the peak. I don't know whether to praise Son Goku's talent, or praise Jiren's extra layer brought by breaking through that powerful aura. The hair all over his body began to emit silver light, and it became brighter and brighter, and he entered a complete Ultra Instinct state. Vegeta said angrily, Does that mean that Kakarot is already in the realm of surpassing gods of destruction? Damn Kakarot, he is one step ahead of me. And then it was over, so fast, so unexpected. It can be said that the current battle on the field is completely beyond destroying the divine grade. Advertisement. Chapter 110 Chi-Yu's Jiren breaks. 5 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Beerus and others who were still calling for Goku just now were like ducks with their throats choked, unable to speak, and the sound of cheering stopped abruptly. Vermut, who was a bit worried at first, let out a long breath, and then said, Sure enough, it's what we thought. Jiren is invincible, this conference is won by our 11th universe. How? Even the Ultra Instinct. For Son Goku's fall, Beerus is the most unacceptable. Also as gods of destruction, he knows Ultra Instinct far more than the players and warrior beside him. If you can master the Ultra Instinct, it means that Son Goku has surpassed the gods at this moment, but this can't defeat Jirenpo, so what kind of state has Jirenpo reached? Jiren looked at Son Goku who was lying in a pool of blood, and said, Actually, when you stood up again, I still had expectations for you. So I didn't use much strength, because I really wanted to see exactly how powerful Ultra Instinct can make you explode. But in the end it turned out that I was thinking too much. He looked towards the 22-seat audience, and then continued, Look, Lien Shendu is amazed at my strength. Son Goku raised his head with difficulty, and saw Jiren's broken leg kick towards him. Then, Son Goku's body flew high and fell into the void. Not long after, Son Goku appeared in the auditorium. Won. Finally won. Jiren took a deep breath, and then said to Grand Priest, Grand Priest, declare my victory. Advertisement. Grand Priest shook his head, then stretched out his finger and said, the seventh universe hasn't been defeated yet, have you forgotten something? Jiren was taken aback, and following Grand Priest's finger, he saw a bald man. At this moment, Chiu had just woken up, and was sitting on a fragment of the ring, yawning. Hey meow, where am I? Beerus in the stands yelled. Idiot, if you don't wake up, we're going to die. The Tournament of Power, you're participating in the Tournament of Power. At this time, Chiu was a little sleepy, he looked around, and then complained, why hasn't the Tournament of Power ended yet? By the way, who is this guy in front of me? In the original novel, Chiu has never seen this man. He's wearing pride clothes, he looks a bit like Jiren, but there are some differences. At this moment, he was staring at Chiu with a pair of alien-like eyes. Beerus shouted. Be careful Chiu, he is different from those previous opponents. Jiren broke out. We finally meet, Chiu. Who are you? Do we know each other? Don't mess around with your relationship, and be careful that I hate you. Chiu was still looking like he was in the air, which annoyed Jiren Po very much. In order to deal with this man, Jiren and Toppo gave up their lives, but they didn't expect to face such a dishonest idiot in the end. Advertisement. So Jiren roared furiously, exuding a terrifying aura all over his body, and sand and stones flew from the dilapidated ring. Chiu, stand up like a real strong man, I didn't come to this world to deal with a ruffian. Chiu ignored Jiren's anger and said while scratching his earwax, stop talking nonsense, come quickly if you want to fight, today Taisi made dinner for me. If you go back late, you will be scolded. Finally, anger burned Jiren's broken sanity. He swooped down and attacked Chiu who hadn't recovered from his deep sleep. The hearts of Beerus and others have been lifted to the throat, even if they are in the same realm. One is to face it carefully, the other is to make it big, and the final result is also predictable. Beerus and others wanted to remind Chiu, but it was too late. Because the speed was too fast, Jiren's shattered fist rubbed against the air to create brilliant sparks, which were about to hit Chiu in the face. Just when people thought the situation was over, Jiren's pupils shrank suddenly, and then he backed away in confusion, pulling away from Chiu. A gust of cold wind blew across the ring, and at some point, Jiren was already standing on the edge of the ring. Vermut stood up from the stands and shouted, Jiren, what are you doing? The 10 hits just now could have killed him, why did you stop? I don't know. What do you mean not knowing? Could it be that your body will escape by itself? You bastard. Get rid of him. Advertisement. Jiren looked at his fist, not knowing why, his hand was trembling slightly. In fact Vermut has spoken the truth. The moment he got close to Chiu, Jiren Po suddenly felt an abnormal fear rising from his heart, forcing him to turn around and run away. With almost no time to think, his body moved by itself, and he quickly escaped from the area where Chiu was. Even Jiren himself couldn't tell what the reason was. Why is my body shaking so badly? Why do I want to turn around and run away now? He looked at Chiu. The bald head was still sitting there stupidly, his whole body was full of flaws, and he was digging out earwax on his own. In fact, neither Son Goku nor Beerus felt fear when they saw Chiu for the first time, that's because they were not creatures on the same level as Chiu. If Chiu is compared to an unattainable mountain, then Son Goku and others are still too far away from this mountain to see how majestic this mountain is. So naturally, they would not have any kind of exclamation for this mountain. But at this moment, Jirenpo was already standing at the foot of the mountain, so when he punched Chiu, he instinctively felt the terrifying energy in Chiu's body. Instinctive reactions are always faster than thoughts, and by the time Jiren regained consciousness, he had involuntarily moved away from Chiu's range. At this time, Vermut was still reprimanding. Jirenpo, what are you doing? Hurry up. Jirenpo looked Chiu's eyes again, and thought to himself, is this an illusion? P.S. Let's have 5 updates today, and keep 5 updates for these 2 days. The author is saving the manuscript, and it should be recommended on Friday, and then 10 updates will break out every day. Reminders can be added to the reader group. 567-687-133. Advertisement. Chapter 111 You are too weak. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hey, are you going to fight or not? Chiu on the opposite side asked a question, and Jiren came back to his senses. At this time, Chiu had already stood up from the ground, and while rummaging through the ruins, he said to himself, who got my snacks? Really? I managed to get here. Damn. This stinky bald man is just an extremely tired person. How can such a person go through extremely arduous practice and become a strong man? Thinking of this, Jiren regained his strength, and then burst into a more powerful force star. This time, Jiren didn't back down anymore. He turned into a stream of light, and hit Chiu hard in the abdomen. After a violent explosion, Chiu soared into the sky. At the same time, Jiren also appeared above his head, clenched his hands into fists and slammed down on Chiu. Not enough, not enough. Jiren Po roared ferociously, and then became faster and faster, launching a crazy attack on Ziya. The ring, which was already incomparably incomplete, was ravaged by a new round, gravel flew randomly, and explosions continued. Advertisement. As the referee, Grand Priest touched his chin, and said, "It seems that we must prepare a stronger arena next time. If this continues, the arena will almost disappear, and it is impossible to judge whether it is out of bounds." According to the usual habit, Beerus will definitely respond to Grand Priest with a few words of respect at this time, but now he doesn't have this time. Not only Beerus, but everyone from the 7th and 11th universes are watching the battle on the field attentively, because the outcome of this battle will determine who is the last survivor. As Jiren fought more and more bravely, the flames on his body became thicker and thicker. Vermut couldn't help but said, as expected of Jiren, that bald man doesn't have the strength to fight back. Now we're sure to win. Just when Beerus and the others were getting nervous, Jiren flew high and slashed at Chiu with one leg like a battle axe, launching his most powerful blow so far. However, this kick was caught by Chiu. Just like that, I stretched out my hand, casually, and grabbed it. How is this possible? Vermut was shocked, but Beerus and others were relieved. Chiu is still Chiu, still the invincible super devil. Such intensive attacks fell on him, even a piece of his skin could not be scratched. Chiu let go of Jiren's leg, and the latter hurriedly backed away to distance Chiu again. Jiren swallowed his saliva, and said, "How? Why didn't you get hurt? Injured. It's up to you." For Jiren's speech, Chiu seemed very surprised, but he was not fake. Advertisement. When did you start to think that you could hurt me? Isn't this a matter of course? How could such a soft attack cause harm to people? Do you think you are strong? But I don't think you have any actual combat power. You are just a show. Soft. Flower shelf. In fact, Chiu was not mocking Jiren, he was just stating a fact. Of all the warriors he'd seen in so long, only two could have done him any harm. The first is the Dark Man in the form of Super Shenron, and the other is the Grand Priest on top of the ring. As for Zeno, who always looks like a child, she is indeed unfathomable. Chiu is not sure yet if he wants to match her. As for Jirenpo, in Chiu's eyes, it's nothing more than a piece of rubbish that doesn't rank high. No kidding, he really thinks so. Beerus is good, Son Goku is good, Jiren is broken, and even Mr. Satan is good. Perhaps in the eyes of others, these four levels of power are very different, but in the eyes of Chiu, they all belong to the same level. That is, no actual combat effectiveness. How dare you say that I'm a showman without fighting power? Jiren Po yelled crazily, paying such a big sacrifice, but only getting Chiu's unmarginal evaluation, which made Jiren Po unbearable no matter what. My combat power is enough to defeat Son Goku, who surpassed the gods, and all the warriors in the universe. Why do you say that I am just a show? Chiu said with a speechless face. It sounds like Son Goku and gods of destruction are very strong. But I really don't think so. And you seem to be no different from them. Anyway, it doesn't hurt if you hit me, real. Goku and Beerus on the stage were also shot while lying down. The two looked at each other and read the emotion called embarrassment on their faces. Advertisement. At this time, Vermut was about to collapse, and everything that happened on the court had surpassed his cognition. Vermut even wondered if he was asleep and dreaming. Of course, the most unacceptable thing is that Jiren broke himself. Stop joking, how could such an outrageous thing happen? Jiren broke out completely, but unlike before, the energy on his body became deep black. Destruction energy. Beerus looked at Vermut in surprise and said, "Is he your universe's backup gods of destruction?" Seeing the energy emanating from Jirenpo, Vermut was shocked, and then said, "I almost forgot. Toppo was originally our universe's backup gods of destruction, and after merging with Jiren, Jirenpo also gained the ability to use destructive energy. Ability. Now he must have converted all his chi into destructive energy, has it? With the superposition of the two vehicles, no matter how strong Chiu is, he is no match for Jiren." Having said that, gods of destruction Vermut had a smug look on his face. Such a powerful Jirenpo, coupled with the invincible destructive energy, who can resist his sharpness? The vast power of gods of destruction gathered on Jirenpo's body, turning into a round of black sun, hanging high on the top of the ruined arena. Jiren broke into the center of the black sun. Chiu, go to hell with me. Jirenpo rushed towards Chiu with destructive energy. Chiu said, I'm sorry, I'm really in a hurry, let's end the battle quickly. After all, Chiu raised his fist, and then punched Zhou Lianpo in front of him. The Must Kill series, take a serious punch. Advertisement. Chapter 1121 Punch explodes Jiren, Grand Priest gives up. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chapter 2. The Must Kill series, take a serious punch. This punch is just like its name, it looks ordinary, but it carries terrifying destructive power. Chiu faced the black sun, and then swung his arms abruptly. The sky and the earth were separated in an instant, the arena, stands, and everything Grand Priest had prepared disappeared. That black sun was completely shattered by Chiu, and the scattered energy was devouring everything. The world seems to have lost its sound, and only the surging energy flow is left, flying around in this empty world. I don't know how long it took before a circle of light appeared in this vast sea of energy, floating in the energy flow left over from Jiren's destruction. In the aperture, 2 Xeno are clapping their hands happily. Awesome. It's really amazing. The tournament of power is really interesting. Back to the future, I want to hold such a game. At the critical moment, Grand Priest used his own strength to protect everyone and led everyone away from the intention of the explosion. Beerus, who was also in the aperture, wiped off his sweat, and then mourned for the future world. At this time, Vermut still didn't give up. 493 pressed his hands on the surface of the protective cover, stared at the sea of energy and said, come out, come out. Jiren beat you, we can't lose, otherwise our 11th universe will. Advertisement. However, his prayer finally came to nothing, and the sea of energy gradually calmed down. In that radiant light, a figure gradually walked out. He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops, and he was holding the unconscious Jiren bag in his hand. Seeing this scene, Beerus finally breathed a sigh of relief. At the last moment, Chiu still kept his hand and directly reached the universe dust without breaking Jiren. Chiu threw Jiren towards Grand Priest and said, heal him. I don't know if the rules you set are effective, so I didn't throw him directly. Grand Priest took Jiren's hand and said, congratulations to Chiu, you survived the competition and will get the chance to make a wish to Super Shenron. Chiu shook his head and said, I'm not interested in Super Shenron. He's not lying, in fact he's summoned Super Shenron twice so far. This thing can't even make his hair grow, it's really unclear, CCCG, why everyone wants to fight for it. The current Chiu doesn't have any wishes, and even if he has, it's not something a Super Shenron can achieve. I'm interested in another thing, you know. Your Excellency the Grand Priest. After finishing speaking, Chiu looked at Grand Priest, waiting for his answer. Chiu has already won the district conference as agreed. Now it's time for Grand Priest to fulfill his promise and fight Chiu with all his might. Grand Priest stared at Chiu, and said after a while, no, I admit defeat. Ah, advertisement. Beerus and the others stared wide-eyed, what did they hear Grand Priest say just now? It seems like I surrendered. Chiu was not satisfied with the loud answer, so he asked, why? Grand Priest said, you just want me to submit, and since that's the case, I will submit. If you want to win or lose in that topo matter before, I admit, you won. Chiu said, why? Why don't you want to fight with me? Grand Priest said, you have seen your strength and admitted that you have the ability to fight me. If we fight, then one person will definitely die. Chiu, you are an excellent warrior, I don't want to see you die, and I don't want to die myself. Chiu said, so you choose not to fight. Grand Priest said, yeah, it's not worth dying for a quarrel. For an existence like the Grand Priest, I am afraid that he will not be able to meet an opponent who can fight against him for countless years. He is lonely, but he is definitely not cold. He is like a dormant volcano, once it erupts, he will definitely throw himself into a life-threatening battle. He is like this, so is Chiu. If these two people fight against each other, it will be a feast for both of them to enjoy, and the invitation letter for this feast is their life. Once you make a move, you will not be able to stop until the other party dies. Grand Priest made it very clear, he was eager to accept this battle, but he couldn't accept this battle either. We all have great strength, but we must also have a strong heart that matches our strength, otherwise we will only be destroyed. Chiu, you are the most talented warrior I have ever seen, so you should learn self-discipline. If you are still not satisfied, then I can only say it again, I admit defeat. Tang Grand Priest actually bowed his head to himself like this. Chiu was a little disappointed, but also a little shocked. Advertisement. In the previous life, there have been rumors on the internet that the Grand Priest is likely to be the last big boss of Dragon Ball, but it doesn't look like this now. Although there was no fight in the end, Chiu still admired Grand Priest's demeanor. So Chiu said. Okay. Bring the Super Dragon Ball. With a wave of Grand Priest's hand, 7 Super Dragon Balls appeared in front of Chiu. Immediately afterwards, Grand Priest chanted the spell and began to summon Shenron. But this time, Super Dragon Ball seems to have changed a little bit. Beerus said. What's the matter? I don't remember summoning Super Shenron like this. Son Goku also said. Yes, it should be the light of gold. Why is it the smoke of black? The 7 Super Dragon Balls kept emitting billowing black smoke, and these black smokes ran wildly in the void, and then gradually fused together, forming the appearance of a Super Shenron. This time, though, the Super Shenron is black. It is suspended in the void, covered with billowing black clouds, and looks extremely evil. Son Goku said, this Super Shenron. Grand Priest made a wish to Shenron in the language of God, but the guy ignored him. After a while, Black Super Shenron turned into 7 black rays of light, flying towards every corner of the universe. Chiu squinted his eyes, and then spit out a few words with a solemn expression. It's a super evil dragon again. It seems that something is really wrong with the Super Dragon Ball. P.S. The plot of Dragon Ball can still write about 100,000 to 200,000 words. The author of this book wrote it hastily, and the start is actually a bit high, but now it's hard to get off. If you don't work hard and think about the plot, it will not work. At most, it will continue 100,000 words. After writing some derivative fan plots of Dragon Ball, the author will change the world. I haven't decided what to write in the next world. You can discuss it in the book review area, or add my readers to give suggestions. Advertisement. Chapter 113 Super Evil Dragon, 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After the Tournament of Power, Chiu returned to Earth with Beerus and others. The Super Dragon Ball failed to fulfill any wish, so Grand Priest promised Chiu that he would personally collect the Super Dragon Ball in the coming year and give Chiu an explanation. But Chiu didn't care about wishes. What he cares about is the Super Dragon Ball and the Super Evil Dragon. After all, the incident of the Dark Man last time is still vivid in his memory, although Chiu is not afraid of anyone. But a Super Evil Dragon is so terrifying, if it has 7 heads. Beerus beside him said. It's strange, what's wrong with you? You don't talk or eat. I've never seen you like this before. Chiu wanted to tell Beerus that everyone might be in big trouble, but he didn't know how to explain his prophecy. The 7 evil dragons were created by people overusing the Dragon Ball. After thinking about it carefully, Chiu discovered that in the past year, everyone used the Super Dragon Ball 4 times. Among them, I summoned myself once, Zamasu once, restored the 7th universe once, and last time in the Tournament of Power. Originally, Chiu thought that everyone should be able to avoid this problem by traveling through time. Advertisement. But obviously the rules of this world are much stricter than I imagined, and I didn't let everyone take advantage of this loophole. Using the Dragon Ball exactly 4 times in a short period of time has never happened even in the entire history of the Dragon Ball world. In this way, it is very normal for evil dragons to appear. It would be fine if it was an evil dragon, but this thing is a super evil dragon. The Nuova Shenron produced by Earth's Dragon Ball can already compete with Son Goku in the Super 4 state. What if it is a Super Nuova Shenron? Furthermore, what if it is the Super Nuova Shenron that devoured all Black Star Dragon Balls? Vermut said. I don't know, but I can feel that these 2 chi are somewhat unusual. The Tournament of Power is just a game, and the 8 universes are just Xeno's toys. Jiren couldn't let go of the fact that he was defeated by Chiu in the Tournament of Power. Why? Why is that lazy, undisciplined man so powerful? No matter how hard Jiren thinks about it, he can't figure it out. At this time, everyone was having a celebration banquet. Anyway, the 7th universe became the last surviving universe. Jiren said again. Master Vermut, do you think it is impossible for me to defeat Chiu in my whole life? Asking for flowers. At this moment Vermut came in and said to Jiren, how is it? Are you used to your new body? Jirenpo and Vermut looked in that direction almost at the same time. Advertisement. However, at this moment, 2 unusually evil auras rose from a certain corner of the 11th universe, and immediately afterwards, the entire universe vibrated slightly. The 11th universe is a universe of pride. Jiren and Toppo, who were born here, are very proud people just like the theme of this world. The same is true for Jirenpo, which was formed by their fusion, inheriting the traditions of their predecessors. Vermut nodded and said. Yes, so things have exceeded Master Zeno's expectations. Vermut said. Chiu is not your target. Grand Priest also said that he is different from everyone. Jiren stood up from the ground, and said, what is that? The air in the room fell into silence, and after a while, Jiren said again, why didn't Zeno eliminate us? Jiren nodded and said, now my strength is much stronger than before the fusion, but if nothing else, I'm still no match for Chiu. I'm afraid this time it will be very interesting. What are you talking about? It's nothing, I'm just talking about what was said in the manga I read yesterday. At the same time, the same situation is also going on in the 7th universe. Deliciously said. Grand Priest and Zeno value the future of the universe above all, and you showed them the power of the 11th universe, so we will not be eliminated. When Zeno and Grand Priest find that the power level of this universe has exceeded their expectations, then the toy is no longer a toy, but a subordinate who can face up to it and earn respect. The 4 universes that did not participate in the power tournament are the 4 most powerful universes. Zeno is reluctant to eliminate them, so naturally he will not eliminate the 11th universe. Advertisement. Vermut added. Actually, Master Zeno may not want to eliminate all the universes, it's just that the Super Dragon Ball didn't work in the end. Pinch yo, Chiu. Son Goku swallowed the big piece of meat in his mouth, and then continued, why don't you eat? Chiu looked at the indistinct thunder in the sky, and then said with a smile, I'm waiting for a thunder, a sudden rain, and a bloody battle. If that's not something to celebrate, there's nothing in the world worth raising a glass to. On the other side of the universe, Jiren Po was meditating with his eyes closed. Jiren broke out. You mean, Lord Zeno expected someone to use the Super Dragon Ball to revive other universes? P.S. Thank you for your 2000 VIP point reward. Thank you you will find your 1000 VIP point reward. Thank you for your 1000 VIP point reward. Thank you, Universe Emperor, for your 588 VIP point reward, and other rewards friends who have passed, thank you all Fang. At this moment, Supreme Kai from the 11th universe rushed into the room and said, it's bad, Master Vermut. Many planets in the 11th universe began to disintegrate for no reason. I don't know what happened. Yes, no matter how powerful you are, as long as you don't practice, as long as you are still standing still, I will eventually surpass you. Thinking of this, Jiren felt a little relieved. Speaking of this, Jiren thought of the man who read comics while eating snacks. Vermut looked a little dignified. It has been countless years since he became gods of destruction, and in such a long time, he has never felt such aura. It's so powerful, so bleak, it's chilling. Deliciously said. I don't know, you have inherited all the talents of Jiren and Toppo, maybe one day, you will really become the strongest warrior in all universes. But before that day comes, you have to give something. Jiren has shown enough strength to earn their approval in Zeno's heart. Advertisement. Chapter 114 5 Super Evil Dragons. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Compared with the 11th universe, the shock of the 7th universe is stronger. At the celebration banquet, many people fell because of their unsteady footing. All kinds of delicacies on the table fell to the ground with a clatter, which made Beerus almost go crazy. He grabbed his head and screamed again and again. My pudding, my squid roast, my ham. After a long time, the shock gradually stopped. In the 7th universe, there are 5 powerful and evil chi, rising from all corners of the universe. They are so powerful that every warrior present can clearly feel them. In an instant, everyone's expressions became solemn. Goku asked, what is this? At this moment, a vortex appeared in the sky. Seeing the vortex, 910, Beerus and the 2 Supreme Kais were so frightened that they immediately fell to the ground. Because this vortex is the portal of the Grand Priest, every time this vortex appears, it means that the Grand Priest is coming. Sure enough, it didn't take long before the Grand Priest appeared in front of everyone. Seeing this person, everyone was very nervous. Only the heartless son Goku greeted Grand Priest and said, Master Grand Priest, why are you here again? Is Aquan going to hold a power tournament again? Advertisement. Son Goku's words scared everyone to death. Beerus rushed up immediately and covered Son Goku's mouth. After pulling Son Goku aside, Beerus said, Master Grand Priest, if this evil dragon is left alone, what will happen? Grand Priest said, they will destroy the entire universe. Sorry. The power conference was held in the void world closest to the 8 universes. After the other universes were eliminated, the evil dragons ran to the 7th and 11th universes. Among them, your 7th universe has the most, 5 of them. Unlike Beerus, who spends his life on sleep all the year round, Supreme Kai knows many things that have happened in the universe, so he said, I have also heard such rumors. It is said that there was a planet where people frequently using the Dragon Ball finally led to the appearance of an evil dragon. Soon the planet was destroyed, and it even affected the surrounding universe. Grand Priest said, every time you use the Super Dragon Ball, you have to rest for 10,000 years, so that the evil power generated by the wish can be completely dissipated. But you have used the Super Dragon Ball many times by traveling through time and space, which led to the appearance of evil dragons. Quote. If Chiu is not together, they really don't have the confidence to fight these powerful enemies. Beerus. At this point, we can only visit every corner of the universe. If we can't destroy these evil dragons, even if we win the tournament of power, we can't redeem our fate of being destroyed. Once a certain limit is exceeded, the negative energy will turn into an evil dragon. Grand Priest touched his chin and said, almost the weakest one is as strong as Jiren Po. If everyone has Jiren's broken strength, then they really can only wait to die. Every time the Dragon Ball makes a wish, it will generate an evil negative energy. The more you use it, the more this evil energy will accumulate. P.S. Some people in the book review area said, how did the author know Zeno is a girl? Actually, I guessed it. The main reason is that when Zeno came out, he looked a little like a little girl, and his voice was also like a little girl. Actually, I don't know if she is a girl. Zeno may not have a gender. Just take a look and don't care. Advertisement. The Earth Dragon Ball takes 100 years to recover every time it is used, and the Super Shenron takes even longer. Grand Priest said. Actually, I have come to inform you about the evil dragon. At this time, the bald devil was sitting in front of a table that was still in good condition, eating delicious food with Majin Buu. What? Beerus wiped off his sweat, then asked the same question as Goku. Are those evil dragons strong? Chiu put down the beef bone in his hand and said, it's all right. Who said I'm all right? I'm going shopping with my wife on Wednesday, and on Thursday I'm going to see the research results of a research institute's 4.5 left hair agent. If I'm lucky, all I can grow hair. Do you know how to grow hair? That is my dream, and the value of the dream is infinite. Don't persuade me. Anyway, I definitely won't go. If because of this guy, there is another power tournament, it will be really unbearable. Beerus said, evil dragon. What's that? Beerus said. You are thinking about it. Anyway, you have nothing to do, just treat it as a trip. You can take Tacy with you, she likes to take risks in unknown places the most. Seeing Son Goku like this, Beerus was so angry that he punched Goku on the head. Beerus, Goku and others looked at each other, not knowing what to do for a while. Before Beerus finished speaking, the Grand Priest has disappeared into the whirlpool again. Advertisement. Beerus asked, is that evil dragon powerful? Damn it. Vegeta was the first to yell. It's these gods who insist on holding some kind of power conference. Now that something went wrong, they just ran away with a notification. 5 strong men who are as strong as Jiren. How can we fight such monsters? Beerus rubbed his hands, ran up to Chiu, and said, Chiu, the great demon king, I heard that there are many powerful warriors appearing on the edge of the universe. It will be fun. How about it? Are you interested? Go and have a look. A single Jiren can beat several warriors of the universe to the ground, not to mention that there are 5 such monsters in the 7th universe. Thinking about it makes people feel scalp numb. Everyone was stunned immediately, not knowing what to say. Beerus said, Master Grand Priest. Why are you here? What's the matter? Thinking of this, Beerus couldn't help looking at Chiu. At this moment, Grand Priest said again, that's it, I have to inform the 11th universe of this matter quickly, goodbye. Grand Priest nodded and said, that's right, but super evil dragons are much stronger than ordinary evil dragons. Chiu said, not interested. Then, Grand Priest began to introduce what is an evil dragon. Hearing that there was a chance to fight against the strong, Son Goku couldn't control himself again, and immediately poured out, how powerful is it? Is it stronger than Chiu? Advertisement. Chapter 115. Fool Chiu to attack. 5 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It's good to be a Superman, but the hair won't grow. Baldness has always been a pain in Chiu's heart. In order to grow his hair, he tried countless methods. But even Super Shenron can't solve this problem, so he can only rely on the power of science. Just kidding, I'm only in my 20s. Who can bear to be bald in my 20s? It's a pity for my handsome face. On this matter, Chiu will never compromise. Everyone has known each other for so long, and Beerus and others also know Chiu's dedication to this matter, so they are gathering together in Shangjiang. Vegeta clasped his hands and said, what should we do? If Chiu doesn't go, Kakarot and I won't be able to defeat so many super warriors at all. In fact, don't mention 5, even if there is only 1, I'm afraid they will be enough. Son Goku said. That 22 has figured out a way to make Chiu grow hair. It is indeed a good way to let Chiu grow hair. As long as Chiu is not bald, he will be happy to help him with anything. But the problem is, even Super Shenron can't do anything about Chiu's bald head, how can they do it? So actually, what Son Goku said about boudoir is nonsense. Beerus' fingertips kept tapping on the table, and after a long time, he clapped his hands vigorously and said, I have a solution. Son Goku and Vegeta asked in unison, how? Beerus said, we can only start with ties. Advertisement. After saying that, Beerus stuck his head to the ears of Vegeta and Son Goku, and whispered a few words. Chiu and Taisi have a very good relationship after marriage. Generally speaking, if Taisi wanted to go, then in order to ensure the safety of his wife, Chi would definitely go with her. Chiu is not a good person, but he is not an evil person either. If you really encounter an evil dragon, Chiu probably wouldn't mind helping out when Vegeta and Son Goku couldn't handle it. So the question now is how to abduct Tais into the boat. Son Goku said. How should we tell Taisi about this? Beerus said. Of course I have a way. That afternoon, the three of Beerus successfully found Taisi and handed a lottery ticket to Taisi. Taisi looked at the lottery ticket, which was written with an oil-based pen. I have to say that this person must have not graduated from elementary school, and the handwriting was crooked. It took a lot of effort for Taisi to see what was written on it, a ticket for a 10-day trip across the universe for the whole family. What is this? Beerus coughed twice and said. This is the lucky prize of our gods of destruction planet. With this ticket, you can travel across universes for up to 10 days in the 7th universe and the 11th universe. Taisi has always wanted to visit other universes, so she was very happy when she suddenly got this opportunity. But Taisi is a smart girl, and she instinctively felt that there was something wrong with this kind of pie in the sky thing. She glanced at Beerus and the others coldly, and then said, but I have never bought any lottery tickets. The three of Beerus were immediately sweating profusely. Advertisement. At this time, Vegeta immediately came out to save the field. As the younger brother of Chiu and Taisi, what he said still has more or less weight. Tais. This is a lottery that Lord Gods of Destruction specially created for you, to reward Chiu for leading the 7th universe to win the Tournament of Power. Yeah, Chiu did such a good thing, I haven't had time to reward him. So I made this lottery ticket. Oh. Taisi looked suspiciously at a few people, and then said, aren't you trying to deceive me and ask my husband to be your thug? Taisi guessed what was on her mind, and several people were even more nervous. At this moment, Chiu came over, put his hand on Taisi's shoulder and said, how is it? Do you want to go? But husband, I feel that Beerus didn't mean any harm, as long as you want to go. Tais loves adventure and has always wanted to visit other universes. But since marrying Chiu, she never went outside again, and took care of Chiu at home with peace of mind. In fact, Chiu sees all Taisi's sacrifices for herself. Now that he has such an opportunity, he would like to take Tais on a cross-universe trip. As for the hair, I don't have much hope anyway, so it's better to let it go. Besides, if he doesn't sell it, the whole world will follow suit. At that time, even if he is fine, John Taisi and others will not be spared. Taisi looked at Chiu with big watery eyes and said, is it really okay to do this? Advertisement. Of course, I said, you can do whatever you want. Go and pack your things, leave tomorrow, and I'll talk to Beerus and the others. Thank you husband. After 900 finished speaking, Taisi smacked Chiu's face, and then went happily. Chiu turned to look at Beerus and the others, his face darkened immediately. The spaceship must be luxurious, and it must provide comfortable bedrooms and various delicacies. In addition, you must take care of Taisi's life. My wife has been very careful at home. I work hard to manage the housework, so I don't want her to be wronged when she goes out, understand? Yes, yes. The heads of the three people were nodding their heads like chickens eating rice. Son Goku said. So, you agreed to go with us? Chiu said. Yes, but before that, I have one more thing to do. What's up? Chiu rubbed his fists, and the joints made a crackling sound like frying beans. How many of you are actually using Taisi to deceive me? Don't. Go to the hospital and stay there for me. Bastards. After that, there was an explosion in the courtyard, and the three of Beerus pierced Tianshan like shooting stars. Advertisement. Chapter 116 Super 2-Star Dragon. 6 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. In the early morning of the next day, the three of Beerus appeared at the gate of Bree's mansion covered in bandages and plaster. They looked a bit bleak, especially Beerus, whose face was covered by white cloth strips, like one ear in the Black Cat Sheriff. On Earth, spaceships for cross-universe travel have not yet been invented. So Vegeta asks Bulma to prepare a common luxury spaceship, and then asks Whis to be a coolie and pull it away. Chiu and Taisi came out from the house, and Taisi ran ahead to greet a happy little girl. Vegeta, what happened? How did you get hurt like this? At this time, the Jade let out a heavy coughing sound. Vegeta hurriedly said. It's nothing, we just wrestled yesterday and got injured accidentally. Right Kakarot, ha 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 ha. The three laughed dryly together, and then boarded the spaceship. Whis is very fast, and it only takes 2 hours to traverse the entire universe. With the help of Bulma's Dragon Ball radar, it didn't take long for them to find their first target. Seeing the target in front of him, even Yu was a little uneasy. In Dragon Ball GT, the evil dragons are just 7 slightly stronger monsters, but the blackening of Super Dragon Ball produces something completely different. Advertisement. In front of their eyes is a black planet. On the surface of the planet, huge waves are rolling continuously. They soared into the sky, turned into the image of Shenron, and then fell back to the planet. That evil aura emanates from this planet. Through the mask of Whis, Son Goku carefully looked at the thing in front of him. What is this? Why does this planet have gas? At this moment, Super 2-Star Dragon patted his palm. Suddenly, the planet under its feet came to life. I and Vegeta became the Super Blue Gods after going through a lot of hardships, and it is very normal for the Super 2-Star Dragon not to feel his anger. Live. After a violent explosion, the Water Dragon and Ki Blast disappeared together. At this moment, a laugh came from the void. Evil dragons are created from negative energy changes within the Super Dragon Ball, and in this case, they can never be too far away from the Super Dragon Ball. So he gave a big shout and turned into the Super Saiyan Blue God. Okay, now you can fight in the void. Thinking of this, Son Goku felt relieved again. Super 2-Star Dragon put his hands on his chest, shook his head again and said, No, it's really too weak, and it's completely incomparable with those Saiyans before. Advertisement. In the entire ethnic group, Super Saiyan is very rare. Even before Goku and others, Super Saiyan Legendary only appeared once. Why do you hear Erxing say that all Saiyans can transform? P.S. The 6th update is over today. Please subscribe and support the readers, thank you. Chiu said. The blackened Super Dragon Ball is at its feet, and that planet full of black water should be our goal. The Super 2-Star Dragon looks extremely bloated, but he is not afraid of Goku who has a strong aura. He carefully looked at Son Goku's eyes, and then said, 10 Saiyan. Seeing the strong man, Son Goku immediately became excited and said, Let me try this first. See if it can rival Jiren, as Grand Priest said. 2 dazzling light beams pierced the space, and several water dragons collided together. With a wave of the Whis wand, a circle of dark green halo appeared on Goku's body. Son Goku raised his palm and said to Whis, Thanks Whis, I'm going. As gods of destruction, Beerus' duty is to destroy planetary civilizations, and he is extremely sensitive to the breath of creatures. He frowned and said, Be careful, this thing is alive. Its image is the same as in the original work, it is the 2-Star Dragon. The only difference is that the Black Star Dragon Ball is not inlaid on top of the head of the 2-Star Dragon at this moment. Just when Vegeta was surprised, several water dragons suddenly rushed out of the surface of the planet and flew towards the direction where everyone was. Vegeta and Son Goku instantly transform into Ultra Blue forms, and gather Ki Blast together. After saying that, Son Goku flew out of the mask, and then flew towards the black water star in front of him. The surging waves rolled over the surface of the planet one after another, and then turned into Shenrons, rushing towards Son Goku. These Shenrons were no different from the previous attacks, but Son Goku's face changed drastically because there were too many of them. Advertisement. Son Goku stopped in amazement, and said, You know Saiyan. Hearing Chi-Yu's words, everyone guessed suddenly realized. Chi is a unique ability in Dragon Ball. Generally speaking, only life can inspire Chi. But no matter how you look at this behemoth, it is just a celestial body. How many people have come to die? This is really interesting. Super 2-Star Dragon still shook his head and said, Nonsense, how can you be the opponent of those Saiyans in the past with your strength? Son Goku doubted. I am the Super Saiyan Blue God, which is more advanced than Gold's Super Saiyan. Immediately afterwards, a chubby green-skinned dragon appeared in front of everyone riding the monstrous waves. Logically speaking, Blue God should be in the evolved state of Super Saiyan. Why would this Super 2-Star Dragon say that? Could it be that it has not yet obtained the state of God, and cannot feel the breath of God? The Super 2-Star Dragon said, Of course, I have killed a lot before. I remember that you can change into the form of gold, and then instantly improve your combat effectiveness. Of course, the Super Dragon Ball is too big to be worn on the forehead. A giant like the Super Dragon Ball can never be hidden at will, so the only possibility is this planet in front of you. Son Goku was covered in blue flames and shouted loudly, rushing over like a Super 2-Star Dragon. But Son Goku is here to fight, not to investigate the ecological situation of ancient Saiyan. Advertisement. Chapter 117 The Powerful Super 2-Star Dragon. One more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Those water dragons rushed towards Goku overwhelmingly, and each of them carried a strong aura. Once they hit all of them, even Son Goku might not be able to escape the end of being destroyed. The most important thing is that such a huge amount is no longer what Ki Blast can handle. Goku, watch out! Vegeta yelled, And at this moment, Son Goku activated the Ultra Instinct. Silver light bloomed on Goku, and after a loud roar, Goku instantly turned into a silver-haired Ultra Instinct full form. Ultra Instinct is originally a move that completely stimulates the body's instincts. Once used, every part of the body can dodge by itself. Among the tens of thousands of water dragons, Son Goku is like a swimming fish, evading all the attacks of the two-star dragons lightly. Wow! Whis exclaimed, and then said, "It's really unexpected. After going through a terrible battle with Jiren, Son Goku has completely mastered this move." Seeing Son Goku's great strength, Vegeta, who was still reminding Goku to be careful just now, was itchy with hatred in an instant. "I really don't know if he is standing over 043. At this moment, Chiu floated out of the spaceship and said, "It seems that Grand Priest's words are not so reliable. If the strength of the Super 2-star dragon is only this, as long as Goku should be able to deal with it." Chiu is telling the truth, although it is indeed much stronger than the 2-star dragon in Dragon Bulk, but if it is only like this. Not to mention that Jiren is broken, even Goku can kill it. Advertisement. At this time, the mutation happened. After activating the Ultra Instinct, Son Goku acts purely on instinct. He looked cold and solemn. While avoiding the attack of the water dragon, he quickly approached the direction where the 2-star dragon was. Immediately afterwards, Goku punched Super 2-star dragon in the abdomen. After the Tournament of Power, Goku's strength has greatly improved. Although there is still a difference compared with Chiu, it is still easy to smash a star with one punch, but this punch did not cause any damage to Long. Vegeta's eyes widened and he shouted at Son Goku, "What's going on? Kakarot, what are you doing?" Son Goku's fist just pressed against the belly of the 2-star dragon, unable to move any further. This is definitely not caused by the fact that the Long's strength is too strong and his body is too hard. Because Son Goku's punch is completely without the power of the past, it does not carry the explosion produced by high energy, and there is no shock wave that spreads throughout the universe, just like the fist of the common people. At this moment, the Super 2-star dragon showed an evil grin. He grabbed Son Goku's head and said, "I was wrong, it seems that you are not weaker than your predecessors, but much stronger." Damn guy. Seeing that Son Goku was no longer able to resist, Long caught Goku in a frenzy. Advertisement. Don't look at Super 2-star dragon's bloated body, but his speed is extremely fast, and Son Goku fell out of the Ultra Instinct state directly. Beerus said, "What the hell happened? What happened to Goku?" V=_=#. Chiu said, "It's poison." Vegeta turned his head and asked in astonishment, "What poison? When did Goku get poisoned?" Chiu said, "The black water that makes up the water dragon is obviously highly poisonous. When the 2-star dragon attacked just now, Son Goku had sucked the poisonous water into mist into his body. Now Goku's state is extremely weak, although there is no problem against ordinary strong people, but obviously this 2-star dragon is not that simple. Yes, the Kaifei CCBE of the 2-star dragon is very powerful, even if it is not as broken as Jiren, it is far more than Son Goku in Super Blue state. If even the weakest 2-star dragon has this strength, how far will the Omega Shenron who swallowed all the Dragon Balls reach?" Chiu couldn't help but fell into deep thought. At this moment, Goku was strangled by the Super 2-star dragon, and then quickly flew towards the planet full of black water. The Super 2-star dragon laughed loudly while flying. "Ha ha ha, if you want to save this guy, come to my planet." The strategy of Super 2-star dragon is simple and easy to understand. To put it bluntly, it wants to bring everyone to a planet full of black water. This planet is full of poisonous water and methane gas. Once it goes up, everyone will be poisoned, and then they will be slaughtered. Beerus said, "Stupid guy, thinking is simple, how can I be fooled by gods of destruction?" After speaking, Beerus stretched out his finger. Advertisement. When it's the turn to destroy the planet, Beerus is definitely more professional than Frieza. After all, this is his job. After all, a mass of pitch-black destructive energy gathered in Beerus' hands, and then rushed towards the planet under his feet at an extremely fast speed. That's when the unexpected happened to Beerus. In his lifetime, Beerus has destroyed countless worlds, but he has never seen anything like it. The Blackwater planet was immediately smashed to pieces by Beerus' power, but after that, the scattered Blackwater gathered together here as if they were alive. After a few short breaths, the Blackwater planet appeared in front of everyone again, as if nothing had happened. Seeing this scene, Beerus was a little uneasy. What the hell is going on here? The Super Dragon Ball is not on this planet. Chiu said. It seems that things are not as simple as we thought. If there is no Super Dragon Ball under these black waters, then the only way is to defeat that evil dragon. Vegeta said, but now this evil dragon is hiding in these black waters, how do we get rid of it? It was Chiu who yawned. Seeing his action, Beerus knew that something was going to go wrong. Sure enough, Chiu waved his hand and said, "This is your business, why do you ask me? Taisi and I won a grand prize from the planet gods of destruction, and we came to travel. Don't talk about it, I'll go back and accompany you. Ties is gone." After speaking, Chiu walked into the spaceship without looking back. P.S. Today's update is a bit late, but there will be no less 6 chapters. Readers are requested to subscribe and support. In addition, those who remind you can add readers, and the author is in it. Advertisement. Chapter 118 Super Rage Shenron. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Seeing that Chiu left just like that, the remaining 3 Beerus were very angry, but there was nothing they could do about Chiu. If Chiu really got mad, they would all be finished with him. Vegeta said, "Master Beerus, what should we do now?" Beerus couldn't offend Chiu, so he could only vent his anger on Vegeta, and said angrily, "What else can I do? Of course, I can only go to this planet. Do you have any other options?" At this moment, Whis conjured 3 gas masks with his cane, and said to Beerus, "Master Beerus, I have a gas mask in my hand. It was given to me by Bulma to deal with various emergencies, each of you, take one." Beerus took the mask, and shouted at Vegeta, "You idiot, you don't know how to cherish such a good wife, and now Bulma is about to give birth, and you are still wandering outside the earth." Vegeta was so angry that he almost turned around and left. "If you hadn't dragged me here, would I have wanted to run to this kind of place?" But thinking of Kakarot's life or death, he held back, then put on the gas mask by himself. After all, the 3 of them flew towards the planet in front of them. At this time, Chiu was reading Taisi's new novel, The Bald Demon King Who Saves the World, in the spaceship. The kind-hearted Taisi said, "Why don't you help them?" Advertisement. Chiu said, "Don't worry, Beerus and his gang are rough-skinned and thick-skinned, so there won't be any major problems. Besides, if they can't handle the weakest 2-star dragon, the remaining 4 evil dragons will destroy the universe in seconds. There is only one person, and it is impossible to hunt down so many evil dragons at the same time." Hearing what Chiu said, Taisi didn't ask any more questions. In fact, every time Chiu went out to fight, she was worried, and she was able to leave it to Beerus to solve it. It's too late for him to be happy. Taisi looked at the stars outside the window and said, "The Milky Way here is really beautiful." Chiu said, "Then I'll go to Supreme Kai another day and let that blue-skinned monster create a planet for us here." At this moment, Supreme Kai didn't know that he was being targeted, and was watching TV with the old Supreme Kai. But his colleague Beerus was not so lucky. He took Whis and Vegeta into the Black Water planet, surrounded by a dark ocean and a black fog that continued to fill. "This planet is so big, how do we know where that guy is hiding?" Vegeta wore a gas mask and made a buzzing sound when he spoke, which sounded a bit strange. Beerus said, "Don't worry, since that guy lured us here, he will attack us sooner or later." At this moment, a huge vortex suddenly appeared in the Black Sea under their feet, and Long came out of the vortex carrying the unconscious Son Goku. Seeing the 3 of Beerus, Super 2-Star Dragon laughed and said, "I didn't expect you to come here. Do you really want to save this guy in my hand? What a touching friendship. Stop talking." Advertisement. Seeing the target, Vegeta immediately turned into a Super Saiyan Blue God and launched an attack on the Super Saiyan Blue. The Super 2-Star Dragon's strength is not bad. He blocked Vegeta's fist with both hands, and then shouted, "What are you waiting for? These guys have arrived, don't hide anymore." At this moment, a strange bird rushed out of the black water. With the mouth of a duck and the body of a prehistoric pterodactyl, it is the Super Rage Shenron. The Super Rage Shenron waved its wings and landed next to the 2-Star Dragon, before saying, "What's the hurry, I'm going to give these guys a brazen attack." Seeing Super Rage Shenron, the 3 of Beerus immediately changed their expressions. If it is a 2-Star Dragon, everyone can barely deal with it, but if you add Rage Shenron, the problem will be very serious. In terms of breath, the breath of this Rage Shenron is several times that of the 2-Star Dragon. It turns out that this poisonous planet is not a real trap, and the Rage Shenron lurking in it is the ultimate killer. Asking for flowers. Beerus said, "Why didn't we feel this guy's anger when we were on the ship?" 2-Star Dragon laughed triumphantly and said, "My poisonous water is composed of negative energy, it is not only poisonous, but also can block all auras." After all, with a wave of Long's hand, the entire liquid planet began to turn upside down again. Water dragons emerged from the sea and attacked Beerus and others. Advertisement. Beerus immediately said to Whis, "You go first, Vegeta and I stop them first." This hand, Chiu on the spacecraft must not know what happened on this planet. If Chiu cannot be notified in time to ask him to help, then everything will be over. Want to leave? I'm afraid it won't be that easy. At this moment, Rage Shenron made a move, and overwhelming thunder and lightning diffused from its body, shooting in all directions. Water is conductive, and this is probably the reason why the two guys will unite. The abilities of the two evil dragons are combined and begin to exert greater power. The water dragons were attached with thunderbolts, emitting dazzling white light one by one, like glowing pillars. Rage Shenron said, "My lightning is more than 1000 gigavolts, even the planet will be turned into coke, you all give me a taste of its power." After all, the tens of thousands of dragons all rose into the sky, covering the entire sky. Beerus yelled loudly, bursting out with all his strength, and then said to Weiss, Go and call Chiu, if it's too late, it's too late." Beerus hits 2 key blasts in a row, blocking several Brontosaurus. At the same time, Vegeta also broke free from the control of the Super 2-star dragon and returned to Beerus. Seeing that nothing could be done, Whis could only turn into a beam of light and quickly fly to the outside of the planet. P.S. Today's update is a bit late, but there will be more than 6 chapters. Readers are requested to subscribe and support Yiyu. Advertisement. Chapter 119 Super Saiyan God Silver. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Beerus and Vegeta worked together to resist the 2 Brontosaurs chasing Whis, and then Beerus said to the 2 evil dragons, "Your opponent is the 2 of us. Come on, let me see if the evil dragon is real or not. Is it as strong as the Grand Priest said?" The Super 2-star dragon looked at the thunder dragon that covered the sky, and sneered, "Don't worry, your companions will be chopped into ashes by the thunder dragon before they escape from this planet. Of course, you will not live long. Stop talking big, I'm the Prince of Saiyan, Vegeta. Son Goku and Chiu are not the only strong ones on Earth. These days, Vegeta has been suppressed by Chiu. Now that Goku has mastered the Ultra Instinct again, he is far ahead of himself in terms of strength. How can Vegeta, who is naturally arrogant, bear it?" He looked up to the sky and yelled, and then exploded with 470 all over his body, sending out a gas far beyond his past, and rushed towards the 2 evil dragons. Super 2-star dragon threw Goku into the water, then went to Vegeta, and fought with him. Seeing Vegeta's bravery, Beerus couldn't help admiring. "Good guy, you actually broke through yourself at this time. It seems that Saiyan are really talented warriors." 1. After all, Beerus joined the fight. The 2 evil dragons are indeed powerful. Vegeta and Beerus tried their best, but they still gradually fell into the disadvantaged. The Super Rage Shenron is extremely fast, while the 2-star dragon is good at defense, and its body is extremely hard. No matter which one, it is not an easy character to deal with. The 4 streams of gas collided with each other, and the huge impact force caused the entire liquid planet to continuously deform, twisting into a round and flat shape for a while. On the surface of the planet, Vegeta is surrounded by turbulent waves, blocking out the sky and the sun. Advertisement. Although there was a breakthrough, the Super 2-star dragon was still much stronger than him, pressing down on Vegeta all the way, and hitting the sea from the sky. The opponent's powerful fists kept hitting Vegeta, causing him severe pain. After suffering countless punches in a row, Vegeta began to feel a little weak. At this moment, the 2-star dragon appeared in front of Vegeta again, and then clasped his hands tightly, sending out the heaviest blow to Vegeta. Rumble. The terrifying impact force created a big hole in the sea surface, and Vegeta, who was wearing a mask, spat out a mouthful of blood, and sank deeper into the seabed. At this moment, he saw a figure. It was Son Goku, who was thrown into the sea by Long. Vegeta wondered if Whis would be able to break through that grid and find Chiu. If Whis fails, Son Goku becomes their only hope. Although I don't want to admit it, Son Goku, who has mastered Ultra Instinct, is indeed the strongest among them besides Chiu. In a trance, Vegeta remembered the first time he fought Son Goku. Son Goku used quadruple Kaioken, then completely defeated himself. Just when Vegeta lost his combat power, Keelan walked in front of him with a saber in hand. At that time, it was Son Goku who stopped Keelan, otherwise the current Vegeta would have been a pile of bones. At that time, Son Goku said this, "Krillin, please don't kill him, I know this request is too much. But I don't know why, when I think of this guy dying like this, I feel very sorry." The faces of Trunks and Bulma appeared in front of Vegeta's eyes. At this time, the 2-star dragon had rushed over from a high place and was approaching at high speed. Advertisement. Finally, don't worry, he made a decision. "Actually, I hate you, but I am also grateful to you, Kakarot. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't marry Bulma, and I wouldn't have 2 children. Just like you said back then, if a guy like you dies, I would also feel very sorry." With that said, he took off his gas mask and put it on Son Goku's face. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta exerted his last strength, grabbed Son Goku's hand and threw it into the sky. Vegeta's power in the Super Blue state was so strong that Son Goku's figure turned into a white line, broke through the seawater of black directly, and flew towards the high sky. I'll leave it to you, Kakarot. Vegeta thought so, then closed his eyes, and gradually sank into the bottomless deep sea. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The Super 2-star dragon originally came to chase Vegeta. At this moment, a figure passed by its ear and rushed out of the sea. Super 2-star dragon looked back, only to realize that the person was Son Goku. It has seen the strength of this Saiyan, far surpassing the two guys he and Super Rage Shenron are dealing with now. Once this guy is out of trouble, the problem will be big. So Super 2-star dragon didn't even look at Vegeta again, turned around and chased after Son Goku in the sky. Even if it is left alone, Vegeta in the poisonous water will surely die. The poison created by the negative energy is not so easy to resist. Advertisement. The body of Super 2-star dragon breaks through the water surface. At this moment, Son Goku in the sky opened his eyes. The fresh air entered Son Goku's lungs through the gas mask, nourishing his body little by little, and constantly expelling the toxins from his body through breathing. Finally, Son Goku has fully recovered his strength. Vegeta. Although he was poisoned, Son Goku did not completely lose consciousness, and Son Goku saw everything that happened just now. After losing his friend, anger burned like a fire in Son Goku's mind. Anger is the source of Saiyan's power, and at this moment, Son Goku's power is getting stronger and stronger, and then breaks through to a whole new level. His hair stood up 3.3 times one by one, and his body was surrounded by surging flames. But this time it's not blue, but pure silver. Actually, Ultra Instinct is not a shapeshifter. In terms of nature, it is closer to Kaioken, a temporary strength-enhancing move, just a way to use Chi and body. In theory, it can be stacked with Super Saiyan Blue God, but this is only in theory. Ultra Blue God combined with Kaioken is enough to make Son Goku's body on the verge of collapse, not to mention Ultra Instinct, a secret skill that Shendu cannot master. But at this moment, with extreme anger, Son Goku brought this state into this world, Super Saiyan God Silver. P.S. In the third update, the author exploded 4 chapters at once in the morning, leaving the remaining 2 chapters for the evening. Advertisement. Chapter 120 Chiu makes a move and kills the 2-star dragon. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Whis, who had escaped for help, finally broke through the blockade of thunder and lightning. Like a flaming pop, he pierced through the atmosphere of the liquid planet, and then got into the spaceship where Chiu and Taisi were. The bald-headed devil, it's not good. The bald-headed devil, come out quickly. Chiu, who had just taken a shower, was still holding an iced drink. When he heard Whis yelling, he walked out of the room. What are you yelling for? Don't tell me you can't beat the 2-star dragon together. Because he had endured too much lightning, Whis had turned into an exploding head at this moment, with smoke all over his body. Seeing Chiu, he hurriedly said, "There is not only an evil dragon on that planet, but also a rage Shenron. We were ambushed by them. Go and see quickly. Otherwise, Beerus and the others are all dead." Oh. After hearing what Whis said, Chiu put down his drink and asked, "Who is the other evil dragon?" Whispered. "Rage Shenron." Chiu touched his chin and said, "Water and electricity. That's really tricky." Whis was stunned. He didn't understand how Chiu 22 knew that Rage Shenron's ability was lightning. In fact, he was very curious a long time ago. Chiu, this man, seems to have a kind of prophetic ability. Advertisement. Of course, Chiu won't tell them that what he knows is all from cartoons. Chiu put on his own clothes, and said, "Okay. I'll just go with you." After all, Beerus has given him a lot of help. Chiu is a person with clear grievances, and he doesn't mind helping Beerus when he encounters such a matter that can be solved easily. At this moment, a beam of silver and white light soared into the sky, cutting through the void with black as the background. Whis looked at the beam of light and said, "What is this?" Judging from the breath, this should be another change in Son Goku. Because Akira Toriyama is the eunuch, so in the original work, Ultra Instinct is the strongest state of Son Goku. Unexpectedly, this guy has reached even higher heights now. Chiu narrowed his eyes, and then said, "It's interesting. Let's go and have a look." White's beam of light shot up into the sky, almost penetrating the entire universe. Standing under the beam of light, the scarred Beerus and Rage Shenron both stopped fighting. Beerus said, "Unexpectedly, in such a short period of time, Son Goku has become stronger again." Vegeta's breakthrough just now surprised Beerus, and now Son Goku has become stronger one after another, and Saiyan's growth rate is really jaw-dropping. After all, only a few days have passed since the power conference at this time. Advertisement. If it weren't for Chiu's lesson from the past, Beerus would have been ashamed to hit the wall immediately. As gods of destruction, he gradually couldn't keep up with the speed of these guys' growth. The surging silver energy rolled into a hurricane, and Son Goku in it roared angrily, constantly surpassing his own limit. After an unknown amount of time, he finally walked out from the beam of light. It still looks like Super Saiyan, but his hair and eyes have turned into silver and white light. Damn, you actually killed Vegeta, I want to destroy you. After all, Son Goku's figure turned into a silver light and charged towards the Super 2-star dragon below. The 2-star dragon was originally the weakest guy among the 7 evil dragons. Compared with Rage Shenron, his strength was still far behind. Seeing Son Goku swooping in, it immediately summoned the Thunder Dragon, but it couldn't stop Son Goku's powerful attack. Rumble. The silver light pierced through the Thunder Dragon's blockade, pushing against the Super 2-star dragon's body, and charged deeper into the planet. After a loud bang, the entire planet was blown up into rain that flew towards all directions of the universe. Amid the raging energy, the body of the Super 2-star dragon continued to disintegrate. Impossible. How could I be killed by a Saiyan? I'm a super evil dragon. I am. The screams of the Super 2-star dragon became smaller and smaller, and after another violent explosion, the Super 2-star dragon was wiped out by Son Goku. At this time, Chiu and Whis also rushed to the scene. In the void, Chiu nodded slightly and said, yes, it has reached the level of Jiren's breaking, and it has evolved from no combat power to not much combat power. This is also a surprise. Advertisement. Afro Whis was sweating profusely, but he had to admit that what Chiu said was true. Jiren couldn't stop Chiu's casual punch, not to mention Son Goku who just reached this level. At this moment, the invincible Son Goku suddenly loosened his body, and then turned into a common form, and passed out. Chiu couldn't help but complained. What's the matter? I thought I could finally be lazy this time. It's just a few seconds. Is this guy a man? In fact, you can't blame Son Goku, it's extremely dangerous to use Kaioken in Ultra Blue God state, let alone Ultra Instinct. With Son Goku's ability, being able to maintain this state for 10 seconds is his limit. Goku's silver hair turned into black hair, and then, like Vegeta, who no longer knew whether he was dead or alive, floated in the Void Lord. Chiu snapped his fingers, and then said, you save people, I will solve the problem. Okay. Hearing that Chiu was finally willing to help, Whis was overjoyed and hurriedly flew towards Vegeta and Son Goku. At this moment, a ray of golden light suddenly appeared at the place where the Super 2-star dragon died, and a huge 2-star star emerged from it. Chiu touched his chin, and said, I really don't understand how these super evil dragons hide such a big super dragon ball in their bodies. This is so strange. Quote, now is not the time to study this. By this time, Beerus had gradually run out of money. But Rage Shenron in front of him is still in full condition, not even the slightest injury. Advertisement.